We're waiting for horses to come in. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a tour of those of you who have not seen the Foresthill vet check. So this is the second 1 hour hold in the ride. There's only two. There's Robinson Flat and Foresthill. I was with you guys this morning at Robinson Flat, and here I am again at Foresthill. And we're going to... I can see the comments. Thanks, friends in the background. The live feed is we have a lot of help of people working and sharing information and things like that. So thanks to our friends in Net Control and other places feeding us info. So I believe we are waiting on Sonoma, Blakely, and the Reynolds. They were the three riders who are out of Chicken Hawk last I checked, and it could still be another 10, 15, 20 minutes before they come in, depending. It's 4 miles from Chicken Hawk to here, and it is a canyon, so depending on how quickly they go through that, we might see them. Like I said, I think we'll see them definitely by 5:30, probably before 5:30. And what's helpful for me, for those of you guys who were in Robinson Flat with me this morning, is I love questions, comments, thoughts. I like a participatory audience. I have two helpers here with me today monitoring comments in YouTube, and they can feed me questions. And so if anybody has questions, thoughts, things you want to know, stuff you want to discuss, just put it in the chat in YouTube, and I will answer those questions for you. We can do a little bit of a walk around to begin with. We'll see how far the Starlink extends. It extends pretty far, but... Yes, we have a question of, this is a vet check. So we are in Foresthill, California, and this is the second of the second of the 1 hour holds that are at the Tevis ride. There's actually two vet checks that have mandatory hold times at this ride, and that's Robinson Flat and Foresthill. And so this is the second one. We call this the dinner stop. Most people will be here around dinner time-ish, and the horses get a lovely 60-minute break. They get to cool, refresh, rehydrate, eat, all of that good stuff before they go back out on the trail. And the temperature is actually really not bad at all. I was just listening to Brenna on the Chicken Hawk feed, and she was saying that it's really lovely over in Chicken Hawk. The bottoms of the canyons can be really hot, and so that's possible that it's much warmer down there. Can't comment, haven't been down today, but I would say despite it being about 90 degrees?
It's about 90 degrees.
In Foresthill, I don't know, it doesn't feel like 90 for some reason. Maybe I'm just delirious. All right. There's a light breeze. Okay, so this is Bath Road. This is a public road that goes down. There's houses here. This is private property on our left. And this is the actual vet check area over here on the right. So horses are going to come up this road, and they're going to come along. I'll give you a little tour, like I said, while we're waiting here. We're going to, so they're going to walk up the road. They're going to take a left here into the vet check, and they're going to come down to just holler in the feed if the reception gets poor, but I think this is going to hold actually. So they come down here and they go have some water. Shout out to Echo Valley, who sponsors Tevis every year. They've got our troughs here. And we've got buckets, we've got a little bit of hay, we've got sponges. We're all ready to go, do some cooling. And then they go straight down to the vet lines. So those orange cones and the caution tape are the vet lines. The pulse area is going to be right over here. And we've got volunteer info booth. We've got our farrier here, right over there, so if you need a farrier. And here is the in-timer tents. We have our webcast crew who help out every year, hiding in the shade with their misters on. And then we have the Tevis store. The webcast always has the ever popular "Where's My Rider" information tent. Technology is making this ride easier and easier and easier every year. I was just talking to a friend who was reminding us that for most of this ride, you just kind of bumbled around and got checkpoint to checkpoint, and people found out at some point in the day where you were, right? But we have things like Starlinks now and YouTube, and we can bring all of this to you live. We have the Reactor Saddle Panel Company, who also sponsors Tevis. And we've got pizza, bathrooms, important stuff. And that's basically, I would take you further, but I think the reception is going to drop if we go much further away from the Starlink. And yeah, so this is where we're going to see everybody come in and horses start coming in. Like I said, hopefully in the next 10-15 minutes. Okay, and here's Foresthill Road. So I was walking back out there. So this is the main road that goes up and down if you've never been to Foresthill, California. And if you continue that direction, it goes all the way up to the Robinson Flat Vet Check. It's just a long paved road that goes all the way up the mountain. And there's turnoffs for Michigan Bluff and Chicken Hawk and the other points along the trail, but it's all accessed from this road. Okay. Yeah, we're looking at our GPS tracker, and we think we see Jeremy in the canyon.
He's climbing out.
He's climbing out. So we'll see who shows up here shortly. How did that video quality go for you all when I walked more towards the cooling area and the pulse area? Did that reception hold? Just pop it in the chat and let me know if that held.
Do we know what the time the cutoff is for Foresthill?
Yeah, good question. So horses have to be in and pulsed here at Foresthill by 8:45 p.m. So that is a hard cutoff. Unfortunately, if riders are not in and pulsed in that time frame, then they're going to be pulled overtime at the ride, which is always a sad day. But this year we've only had one overtime pull, which is great. Everybody's pacing really well out there. And oh, good. All right. I'm going to walk in circles for a bit. I'll see what else we can. We've got people with supportive signs. Go Tevis riders. Here's the in timer. I think I briefly showed the in timer to you guys, but yeah, they come right in. You hand your vet card over to the timers. Always do that. Love your timers and endurance rides. They're important people. They keep everything going. We have one of our ride vets here standing chatting with the in timers, and of course they have our important water tanks to refill all of these water troughs as they start to decrease. And just as we were talking at Robinson Flat about crewing, like protocol and etiquette, and crew is allowed here at Foresthill, so crew teams are going to walk with their horses and their riders, and they're going to come over here. The horses are going to get water, they're going to get cooled down, and then the crewing stops once they go to the vet lines. And so generally it's best practice to not have crew follow the horse into the vet line. If you do need somebody to trot your horse out, that's fine. Things like that. Sometimes the riders are lame at this point in the ride and cannot trot their horses out, and that's fine. But in general, crewing stops, and then they go see the vet team. I don't think I can zoom, but if I could zoom, you can see those little yellow vests in the distance, and those are the ride vets. Okay. We're going to walk back this direction. Okay, let's walk down Bath Road a little bit. We're going to do an experiment. I'm going to keep an eye on my signal strength here, and we're going to see how long this holds. I got to tell you, Starlink continues to improve. It used to be you couldn't get more than 30 feet from the signal, and it would just drop. We couldn't maintain it past there. Although prior to Starlink, we used to just do this off of 1 bar of LTE cell phone reception, and you had some garbly maybe horses, like you think some horses might be moving around coming into a vet check. And yeah, the tech is just getting better and better every year, which allows us to bring this to you all. I'm just out of curiosity. I'm going to keep walking a little bit. I get a little notification on Prism that supposedly tells me my cell strength. I don't know how accurate it is. But lots of people like to sit on the side of Bath Road and cheer the riders as they come up, and crew will stage down here and meet their riders at the bottom. You can see people have buckets staged already. The buckets in endurance. We love buckets and sponges and cooling horses. It's really important. So like we were saying earlier, it's, 90 degrees. It is a dry heat, but it's pretty hot. These horses have just come through what arguably is considered the hardest part of the ride, which is the 3 canyons between miles 50 and mile 68 of the ride. And so these horses are generally pretty hot. They're ready for a break, and they get a nice 1 hour hold here at Foresthill where they can eat and drink. And for most riders, they'll have crew at Robinson Flat that they send, but this is the first time they may have seen like their horse trailer all day, right? So I don't know about all of you, but sometimes I just like to go in my horse trailer and sit for a minute or, have a moment of silence and not be on a moving creature, or whatever you like to do to restore yourself. Some people take a shower. I was given that advice years ago. That is always a way to make yourself feel better at this point in the ride, is to go climb in the shower, get a change of clothes, get all that dust off your face, and you'll be feeling much better after a nice restorative shower, if you have that option. Okay, so Bath Road, again, I don't know. My cell phone says it still has coverage. We're going to walk a little bit further. We're going to see. Unfortunately, I cannot see the comments while I'm live from you guys, so it could be that we're losing some reception here, and I would not know, but we're going to go down, and I'm just going to try and peek around the bend of the road so you can see what Bath Road looks like. Okay. So you can see that it curves around and it goes down. Like I said, the horses are going to be coming towards us up this road, and then they're going to walk up to the vet check. You'll see a bunch of different strategies here from riders. Some riders are off walking their horse. They've stripped the tack. They've met their crew down at the base of Bath Road, I believe is where crewing can start. Don't quote me on that. And then they can cool the horse as it walks up the hill. Some riders, especially if they're pushing cutoff times, may ride the horse into the vet check, and you got to do what you got to do, and everybody's got a little bit of a different strategy, but we'll see different things. Generally, the front runners are off their horses. They are getting their horses cooled. They have strip tack. They have crew following them. They get their tack in wagons and things like that, and they come up this direction. I have a helper. So here you go. Who said endurance isn't a spectator sport? This is one of the things a lot of riders really love. The local community of Foresthill tends to come out for this ride and cheer, and there's actually a couple bars down the road. So after you leave the Foresthill vet check, as you continue down the trail, you actually ride through the town of Foresthill, and you'll get some hooting and hollering, especially from the folks at the bars as you ride by. And so some people, that invigorates them and lifts the spirits. Endurance is a pretty I don't know, it's hard to access a lot of the trail. It's hard to actually see what the horses are doing out on the trail unless you're riding the horse. And so this is an opportunity for folks to actually see the what the riders are doing, right, coming through town. Okay.
Just asked if the ride had a late start this morning. So maybe you want to talk about start time and
Oh,
horses coming in.
yeah. So Molly is asking about start times, and the ride started at 5:15 a.m. in Roby Park, which is outside of Truckee, California, and it is they're pretty. It's a narrow window, so they start at 5:15. They have a pens, what are called pens, and it's the order that the horses go out in, because there tends to be a large ride. You have 100 plus horses moving down the trail, so they have seating pens, and you're placed into a pen based on that horse's competition history and the pace you've been running at rides and things like that. But there is an out time at Roby of 5:30 a.m. So you got 15 minutes. You got to be out of Roby, and they are efficient. They get you out. They know what they're doing, and they want everybody getting out down the trail, because every minute can count at Tevis.
Maybe talk a little bit about controlled starts at other rides.
Yeah. Oh, we have a rider. Is that Jeremy wearing a hat? Hold on, I think it's Jeremy. Let's see. No? Okay, I see what's going on. I'm confused there for a moment. That was not a person entered in the ride. That's somebody on horseback being cheeky and telling us that a rider is coming. So maybe he just wanted some cheers. So we're going to, we've got someone coming here. I'm going to try and hold the camera steady for you guys. I apologize. I try and stay as still as possible, but I'm a human. I move. It's a new thing. It's a Christianism, and I'm just like my mind will go when people are like, and I'm just like,
They're pulling a Paul Revere. Yeah. Pony Express.
All right. Okay, we're waiting. We're seeing. I hear hooting. Okay, here's Sonoma Blakely, and she's running. Good work, Sonoma. Getting off that horse and running up this hill. So she's got 2 crew members, it looks like, one of whom I think is her mom. And she is off and running up the hill here. And we're cooling the horse. This is rider number 12, Sonoma Blakely. Everybody loves a good run up Bath Hill. The grade is a little steeper than it looks. I've walked up Bath Road and ridden it, and sometimes you're like, oh, okay, that was a bit more of a hill than I was planning on. So good for Sonoma for getting off and running up that. Okay, so that was our first rider in at Foresthill. And Jackie, what time is it?
It is 5:17.
It's 5:17 p.m. So yeah, definitely we're having a bit of a different time schedule this year than what's typical. And we usually see, I would say on average, we see riders into Foresthill between 4 and 4:30 p.m. There have been years where we have seen them early, like 3:30, 3:15. But this year, we're just running a little later. All right. So I think Jeremy and Heather are going to be close behind here. Oh, I'm getting a report that the stream health is... Oh, yep, here we come. Here comes Jeremy. Because I think I see... There's both of them. Okay, here's Jeremy and Heather. So we have Jeremy and Heather Reynolds and their crew. Heather is riding Sonic, and Jeremy is riding Treasure. Treasure is a 2-time Tevis Cup winner and a Hagen Cup winner as well. And Sonic has placed in the top 10 several times at the ride, I think, and he's going for his 3rd completion, 4th completion. We'll have to check that. I can't remember with Sonic. So, speaking a little bit more about crewing, you can see, like we were talking about before the horses and riders started to show up, that you were going to see some different strategies. So you have Sonoma ran in while her crew was cooling the horse. Jeremy and Heather walked in while the crew walked with the horse cooling. You can be a mobile act, right? Everything you can do to save time and get that horse cooled before you go see the pulse is going to drop the horse's pulse faster, right? So that's why we spend so much time cooling in endurance, is because it's the fastest way to get a horse to drop their pulse and meet pulse criteria. This is Foresthill. We're at mile 68, and the pulse criteria is 64 beats per minute. And so that's up. We start the ride. It's 60 beats per minute at the first couple of gate and go checks, as well as Robinson Flat, the first 1 hour hold. And then the pulse criteria increases to 64 beats per minute at Deadwood, which is the vet check after the first canyon. Back when Tevis was, well, I'm going to say back in the 70s, the pulse criteria at the ride was actually very different from today. And so a lot of things that people will, there's a lot of things that have changed about Tevis over the years, but the pulse criteria has definitely changed. And that is because of the tremendous work of veterinary teams and riders and everybody working together in the sport to figure out what those good indicators of equine welfare are in the sport. And it was in, I believe, the late 70s, early 80s that the pulse criteria started to drop, because we realized that while 70 beats per minute felt reasonable at that point, we actually now know that that is not a recovered heart rate for a horse. And a horse today coming in and hanging at 70 beats per minute, we're not going to freak out, but that's definitely a horse who's not recovering the way we would want to see. There might be some different issues going on, and so that's why over time the heart rate criteria has continued to be reduced. That's for equine welfare reasons, to make sure that these horses really are fit to continue and ready to keep going down the trail after their holds. Okay, we're gonna have some gaps here. So what do folks want to know? What should we look at? What do we want to talk about? Okay. My fact checker Jackie says that Supersonic Zell, Heather Reynolds' horse, has finished 3 times, so he's going for his 4th completion. And Treasure is going for her 7th, 6th. We're checking 6th or 7th for Treasure. Again, Treasure has won the ride twice, and she's also won the Hagen Cup once. Just pausing for a minute when I have to talk for 4 hours straight. Occasionally I pause.
6. She's done 6.
Okay, so she's going for her 7th. So yeah, Sonic is going for his 4th completion, and Treasure is going for her 7th completion. Got any questions?
Oh, yes. I'm in multiple screens.
I don't see any questions.
We can meander back to the truck and use the computer. It's all of the tabs are open on the computer, and you can just. All right. Sorry, we're formulating a plan here. We're going to go a little bit further back up the road. I just wanted to catch those top 3 as they came into the check. We're going to go back to my truck. At some point, I'm probably just going to climb in my truck and decree from on high what is going on here at Foresthill. As the sun drops and the temps get cooler, we get a little saucier. So we've been up for many hours talking about Tevis facts. That's a good question. I don't know. So the question was, is Sonoma riding the horse that she won the ride on in 2019? We're going to look it up. We're going to find out. I don't believe so. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, no, it's a different horse. But let's poke our head around the corner here and see Okay, so it looks like Heather and Jeremy are in the vet check. They all are. Everybody's over in the vet check. They're conferring with the vets. So that's good. The horses, that means the horses have pulsed, and they've been cooled, and they are moving along in the process.
She's on Cardi this year.
So I'm going in 2019. So okay. So it's 2026. So 2025,
That's a well-trained horse.
in 2024, she rode Cardi.
Okay.
Finished in third,
And that's the horse she's on today.
I believe so.
All right, so the horse Sonoma is on today. She also finished the ride on in 2024 in third place.
As well as 2023.
Okay, so they're going for their third. They're going for their third completion. We think we're looking. Sometimes we got to look this up. It's hard to remember all the horses.
In 2022, she didn't finish, but she was riding the same horse. I'm just looking for 2019. When she did it in 2019, it was on a different.
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm remembering correctly, because she wrote about her experience winning the ride in 2019, and I believe that horse is retired now, if I'm remembering. Yeah, he goes by Goober. That's his nickname. I'm not. Yeah, I believe he was retired actually shortly after that he won the ride. I could be wrong about that again. I just am recalling this from things that live in my brain. So yeah, she has finished the ride on this particular horse, Cardi. It looks like they're going for their third finish together here. This is their fourth time riding Tevis together, and they've had one pulled. Okay. I'm audience. Let me know. Do you want me to be stationary? Do you prefer that I set up with my tripod and be stationary so that the video feed settles? Or do you want me to continue to walk around and look at different things? It's up to you guys. What do you want to see?
While they're chiming in, you want to talk about the clothes the riders wear? AKA long sleeve sun shirts.
I would love to talk about the clothing riders wear. So you'll see some different clothing options, but across the board, what you'll see in endurance is a lot of we're covered up, right? We've got cooling gear on. We are covered up. That is both for sun protection and for cooling. You will see a lot of lightweight synthetic wicking materials. Back in the day, bless the riders that were doing this in the 60s and 70s without modern synthetics. They rode in jeans, they rode in cotton. That's what they had. There's a lot of pretty cool fabrics now that we have available that really do help regulate temperature, and you can get them wet and they help cool you down. Most riders for something like Tevis are wearing some type of riding tight. You want everything that you can reduce friction with. Unfortunately, jeans or things like that have seams. Some riders choose to ride in them, but those seams can really chafe over the course of 100 miles, and so most people are opting for seamless riding tights. There's many equestrian apparel companies that make them. I personally got to have pockets because my phone is always in my right pocket. That's just how I operate, and I know where it is, and so I won't ride in anything that doesn't have pockets.
The home audience says go around and talk to spectators.
Okay. The crowd has voted. We're gonna go talk to spectators. We're going to ask them questions. Okay. And I'm going to repeat the questions because I have a mic that faces my direction, which unfortunately I can't turn around. So you're absolutely fine. No, you guys are fine. The folks online at home would like to know what you're doing here. They assume you're spectating, but they wanted me to go around and talk to the spectators.
We live up here in Foresthill.
Okay.
We have one rider that we follow. And
Okay.
She just came in.
Okay. All right.
And I'm super excited.
Okay.
She has a book out there.
Uh-huh.
about the dreams. Something about dreams.
Yes. Sonoma's book. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. These two ladies are here. They are fans of Sonoma Blakely. They live locally in Foresthill, and they were cheering her on as she just came across. I was going to say the finish line. I'm tired. This is not the finish line. This is mile 68. She came into the check in first place. So, well, thanks for being here. Thanks for spectating. Yeah. How's the pizza? Okay, we're getting thumbs up. The masses at home wanted me to come talk to spectators and see what people are doing. And so, no, hey, this is what we eat a lot in endurance. So I'm glad everybody's eating and staying hydrated and fueled. So thumbs up for the pizza. Did you get it at the? Yeah, it's good pizza. Hi, how are you guys? Are you cheering somebody on? Is there somebody you're rooting for? Everybody.
It's our first time coming to watch, so we're just taking it all in.
Awesome. So these folks are here. It's their first time watching. They're taking it in. Welcome. We're glad you're spectating.
Are you local?
Okay. Yeah, we got more local folks. So yeah, like we were talking earlier on the live feed about the local folks that come out, and we were talking about the hooting and hollering that will start at the bars once the sun goes down as the horses go through town. So yeah, thanks for being here. Hi. The folks online want to know what everybody's doing and say hi to the spectators. So is there a rider you're cheering on today? They both came in. Okay. We have some Jeremy and Heather fans here who were waiting for them to come across. They're always the popular duo. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's not terrible. Waiting to capture good videos. Awesome. I know about that. You got it? It's a good goal. Hi. How are you all? We're entertaining ourselves talking to spectators. The folks online wanted to see people spectating and asked, are you cheering any riders on today? Okay. You're just here to watch everybody.
What year are you going to do it?
I've already done it like 25 years ago. I'm just here watching.
Okay. All right. We have, thank you. That's a good question. We have a buckle holder here. What year did you do the ride? 2001, and you got your buckle. Congratulations. What's your name? Rick. Rick had dark hair and a black mustache 25 years ago. He reports when he finished the Tevis Cup. Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. Thanks for spectating. Hi. Yeah. Thanks for chatting with me while we wait for riders to come in. You're with them. Okay. You were a crew? How did crew chief here 25 years ago? How did that experience go for you?
Well, we had a lot of experience prior to that experience, and it is Robinson Flats, it's quite a journey, driving the trailers out here to back, it's quite an experience. Just remembering what the rider and the horse needs at the moment.
That's what it's all about. That's what. Yeah, words of wisdom from crew chiefs. Yes, talking about cooling and then the logistics of driving the trailers. When I showed you guys Foresthill Road earlier, that's the road the trailers all right here. That's the road they come down. They would be traveling to the left, coming down the hill now I'm all backwards because we don't bring trailers to Robinson Flat. They come up here and they bring the trailers to Foresthill, but Robinson Flat is up to the right. So, awesome. Thanks, guys. Okay. Hi. You guys look like crew. Who are you crewing for? Number 65. Awesome. Okay, cool. Number 65. So we, if you want to know where they are exactly, the best people to talk to are the Where's My Rider tent right on the other side. We don't have any other information other than what they do. It's all the standings we're refreshing the same page everybody else is. So, yeah.
This is like something I feel like you don't get much these days, which is being disconnected from where everybody is. I know they have the trackers. The trackers, but we can't. For sure.
right? Yeah, and this is all the last 4 years we've been able to get the Starlinks and bring coverage. This is all very recent. Yeah, yeah. This is not an area with tons of reception. Well, we'll keep an eye out for Rider 65. We'll give a shout out. Yeah. Katie DeJong. Okay. How do you pronounce her last name? DeYoung. Thank you. Okay. All right, we've got more. Hi. Are you spectating? Excellent. Is there a rider that you are rooting for? You too. Okay. 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 Thank you. I'm just down here looking at your feet. Apparently.
Are you guys on the live stream?
Yeah, we're the live stream. Yeah. The folks at home wanted to see what everybody was doing, and we're passing time waiting for riders.
On the riders.
Yeah. All right. Yes. Hal has only done this ride like once before, right? Yeah. Yeah. Just once or twice. Okay. Yeah. He is. It's buckle 34. He's going for.
This would be 34.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, we were talking about Hal earlier at Robinson Flat, and if he finishes this year, he will tie with Barbara White for the most number of completions in the ride.
So we took over Dusty Corners from the White family.
Okay.
For
Okay.
the race, for the ride.
Okay.
Right? So
Cool.
we
Very
got
cool.
some fun ties with everybody, and then Cassandra and her and I have done a bunch of trails together and stuff. So
Awesome.
fun tying everything back together. So we're out here just watching.
Yeah.
Waiting for them.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Cassandra looked. Taser looked good earlier. So. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. Thanks for chatting with us while we.
All the kids.
Yeah.
I'll punch the kids out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to repeat what they say because they can't hear.
I'm trying to summarize. All right, sorry everyone. I try and summarize the information we're getting from people. I know you can't hear what they're saying. But we met some spectators. We met some Jeremy and Heather fans. We met a gentleman who finished 25 years ago. I'm glad my assistant asked that question because you never know who's floating around here at Tevis. You might have other folks who did the ride, which is always great to see. I always like talking to folks who completed the ride in years past and see how that experience went for them. Okay. Let's we're going to do a little experiment here because now that I have Molly helping me and has my computer, I can see accurately what happens to the feet as we head down Bath Road. Maybe we can actually get down there and look around the corner so you guys can see what Bath Road looks like.
What did we say again?
We have friends here. You do,
Go Cassandra!
okay, we have 3 fans here saying go Hal and go Cassandra. Oh, more fans. Thanks for being here, guys. I love your bug shirt. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah. Which spider do you like the best?
Probably this one. It has
Oh, the hobo spider. You know, in real life, they're really big. Yeah, like the size of your head.
no.
Yeah,
That's just the body, and then those legs.
that'd be a little scary, huh? Maybe to see. Yeah,
Seen them.
yeah, yeah. What do you guys think? Spider fans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as they're not poisonous and they don't get.
Okay. As long as they're not poisonous, I agree with that. Sometimes if I don't know they're there and they move quickly, I might be a little bit startled. But I'm generally a spider fan too.
It's been really exciting watching these horses swoop by. They started in Tahoe. They made it like, I don't know, 20, 30 miles. Like 2 hours out of
It's cool, huh?
Like, totally ignored the ice last time. It was like, nope, just headed
Yep.
to the vet.
Yep. These fans are commenting that they've been very impressed that the ride started in outside of Truckee, and this is mile 68. So the horses have gone 68 miles at this point, and
Halfway through, I was like,
more than halfway through, indeed. Yeah, you get to this point and it's starting to cool off a little bit, and you go, I feel a little better. I'm less hot. Yeah.
You get your second wind.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I love it. Thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for cheering on Cassandra and Hal. Okay, we're going to see what these folks who look tired are doing. Hi. We got volunteers. The masses at home would like to know what you're here for, what you're doing. I'm going to repeat back since the mic is in my direction, but they want me to go interview folks. So we talked earlier. Yes? Did I carry a chair for you at Robinson? No, never mind. Okay, somebody who looks similar to you. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm not crazy yet. All right. Good. So you were from South Dakota? Okay. Brain is still working. So yeah, and you're volunteering here, and you said this was your first time volunteering.
My first time ever at an endurance event.
Awesome. First time at an endurance event. Do you, at this point, are you like, yeah, this might be interesting, or are you like, these people are nuts?
I like my dressage shows where I ride at 9:30 and then the rest of the day to eat Mexican food and hang out with my friends.
This is a smart person who says they like to have their dressage shows where they have a time, you ride at 9:30, and then you hang out and you eat Mexican food. Which, I mean, you could do in endurance, but you can eat and ride at the same time. But, yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. What have you guys been doing today?
Volunteering all day at Robinson. Yep.
Okay, you were all at Robinson. In time. Okay. So you're just hanging out now, or okay.
Enjoying the show because we haven't had a chance to do that yet.
Yeah.
Doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for timing. Timing is a very important job.
A lot of chaos.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of chaos, but we really appreciate it. Was there anything you felt like you really learned this year with timing that you were like, oh yeah, that's something that's sticking with me?
This year went pretty smooth. Yeah.
Smooth timing. Okay. Yeah.
I need to bring maybe a throat lozenge so I can like yell the time.
Yeah. When you're screaming times back and forth for 3. Yep. Yeah, good advice, actually. So these guys were timing at Robinson Flat and are recommending, it was smooth this year, but yeah, you have to talk for a long time. I don't know anything about that. And yeah, you got to take care of yourself. So I'm glad you guys get a break. And what are people commenting?
I cannot eat enchiladas while riding. I am not at that level yet.
I don't
This is a brave thing to try enchiladas.
I don't think I could do enchiladas. I've done a burger.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it was not pretty. But, yeah. Yeah.
I was riding behind somebody coming into Foresthill years ago. I forget who it was, and they said, I cannot wait to find my crew and get my Taco Bell and my whiskey shot.
Okay, yeah, Molly was sharing a story of somebody a couple of years ago coming into Foresthill. They really wanted their Taco Bell and their whiskey shot. That's quite a combo. For me, I don't know that my GI tract would want a whiskey shot with Taco Bell after riding 68 miles, but to each their own. You know, we all find out what works. Some people don't like pickle juice, you know, or electrolytes or whatever. Hi, what are you guys here for? You were awesome. Who's rider 80? Ah, I'm friends with Christina. So this is Christina's crew. Thanks for being here. And I'm sorry her day ended early. Is Rip okay? He's okay. Happens to the best of us. My current horse will never do this ride, probably for that reason. So, yeah. All right. Well, thanks for being here, guys. Yeah. Yeah. Getting a little choppy. We're getting a little choppy. Okay. Yep. I didn't think we would be able to make it around the bend. I think this is the limit of how far we're going to be able to go here, folks. Tamales? Yes, I agree. Because like a tamale at least is kind of a handheld item. So you could stuff that down your gullet while you were riding along. It's a good point. I love tamales. Okay. We're going to turn here and wander back up. Maybe we can, we'll refresh here and see who we're expecting next. So we do folks usually think that we have more information than what's available online, and actually you folks at home have as much information as we do in terms of where riders are. So we have the GPS spot trackers that have been required for riders to wear now at least the last, I'm going to say 3 or 4 years, maybe longer than that. And that's just a safety thing. They don't always work. They don't always, in the canyons in particular, sometimes they get a little spotty. It's hard for them to get a signal out, but we do like to have those on the riders. And
Next expected in is Molly Cross.
okay. Oh, I hear. Oh, well, speaking of, okay. Here we have Molly my goodness. Quiraz. Sorry, guys. As the day goes on, I can talk less and less well. Here's Molly. And she is rider 100. And we were talking earlier, I think that this horse is going for his 5th. I think it's Roby. Is this Chandanka's Express? Yeah, so he's going for his 5th finish, and if he finishes today, he will be a Roby Cup horse. We have another horse. Okay, we've got poor Renvig. We're just slaughtering her name all day long. I heard Brenna say the same thing at Chicken Hawk. Maybe we just need to ask her how to pronounce her name. Renvig is from Norway, and we're going to get a rider number here. $48. Okay, and that was rider number 48. So now we have our top 5 into Foresthill. Cow. Jackie's asking more people. Oh, I'm missing people. We have, here is Jay Marrow. Jay running a tight ship. I appreciate that about Jay. Jay's great. Jay is a veterinarian. She both vets ride. She's part of the AERC veterinary committee. She does some of the drug rule policy things for AERC along with our other vets, and she is a Hagen Cup winner. So there goes Jay. That was rider number 6 into Foresthill. She does vet the Quicksilver ride. Yeah. That's the Quicksilver Riders are based out of the San Jose, California area. They are a club, and they put on a ride annually in October.
Looks like it's going to be a little bit of time, but our next expected riders are Karen Donnelly and Andy Patello.
Okay, Karen and Andy are next. Okay, yeah, so we're going to start having gaps here. I never did get in my truck and climb up there. Maybe I will. That's right. I did not do that because people wanted me to move around. All right, so in these gaps, please feel free to let us know. What would you like us to do? Would you like us to talk to people? We can try and find some interesting folks to interview. If I recognize any famous faces, I'll go hunt them down. We talked to all these folks already. We lose reception as we start to go down the bend. We have our assistant ride director, Kathy Perry, down there, talking to Corey Soltow. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go stick. We're gonna stick a camera in Corey's face. And my assistant Molly knows Corey as well as I do, and we're gonna think of some questions. Corey is. I think he has completed Tevis 17 times. He was going for 20 buckles last I spoke with him. And we have next to him Kathy Perry, assistant ride director, who also has a lot of buckles. We can ask them. We can find the exact number. But these are two seasoned folks. Hi. I know. We're putting a camera on you guys. Come back here, Corey. The friends at home want to know. They want to know, how many finishes do you have?
Finishes?
Yeah.
17.
Corey has finished 17 times. And what year did you first ride the ride?
I started in 69 at the edge of Lake Tahoe. Right?
In 1969 was the first one. Okay.
I was practically no.
You, you were like 5. Yeah. Yeah.
Youngest rider to ever.
Youngest.
At
He just
5
strapped you
years
on the horse.
Yeah, bro, that was a great. My first time. It was a wonderful.
Yeah. Awesome. Did you finish that year? Okay. So
You were hooked.
Corey finished the first time, and we'll pause real quick. Here we have Andy Bathello coming in, and this is Royal Patron, who won the ride in 2016, I believe. She is the oldest horse this year. She's 24 years old.
24?
And this is her 7th, 8th completion. Yeah. And here is Karen Donnelly. Karen was riding Royal Patron when she won that year, and this is a different horse whose name I am forgetting. We can look up Karen Donnelly's horse's name.
Miss Crossfire or Red.
Miss Crossfire. And I heard that. I'm going to torture these guys. All right, Kathy's running away from me. But, Kathy, what year did you win the ride? I wasn't. 1978. Hey, it's this is why we're asking. This is all the knowledge that we want to hear from people, and the folks online are asking. So yeah, okay, 19. And how many times have you completed? 25 completions. Do you feel like you have any more in you? Do you want to?
Oh, I think I do. My family doesn't.
Your family is like, no, you're done.
I'm done.
We're cutting you off. Okay.
Good reason to do it again.
I really want to, but
Okay.
we'll see who wins.
Okay. All right. Kathy is, her family has cut her off, she says, from riding again, but she has 25 completions, and maybe she'll come back and go for more. We'll stop torturing you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for entertaining people online. Okay. It's always fun to, again, Corey is also a veterinarian. He has been practicing in the Bay Area for many years, and rides, and has been involved in endurance since the 1960s. So. Molly's giving them a hard time. It's very cool to be able to talk to some of the folks that have been doing this ride since the 60s, right? I mean, because they'll tell you things about what the trail looked like in the 60s and 70s, which was, just a different world. California's climate was different in the 60s and 70s. I mean, not completely different, but it was definitely, we had more tree cover. We still had snowpack. Up in the High Sierra, a lot of the times, up until actually like the 90s, there would be snowpack coming through the high country, and that's why the ride is historically held in July or August, because they had to wait for the snowpack to melt. And unfortunately, the last, 10-ish years, that really hasn't been a thing in California. The snow is definitely gone by July, June, sometimes May. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So the origin of the Tevis Cup ride, it first started in 1955. It has been run every year since, with the exception of 2008. It was canceled due to a very significant forest fire in the region, and in 2020 because we had a global pandemic, as you all might recall. And so that is, those are the only 2 years it hasn't been held. So this is the 70th anniversary of the ride this year. We can go this. Oh, sorry, Molly. We can go. I'm just walking to Molly. We're going to go over here and see what's going on. It looks like everybody's already cleared the vet area. These folks are on a mission. They want to take a shower. They want to have a snack. I would too. Okay, we'll pause. There's a lot of downtime now. It's when I believe I've been working and supporting the live feed since 2014. This is my 11th year. I missed 1 year supporting, and it's really interesting to look back and think about how we started as a bunch of photos getting uploaded on a Flickr account. Okay, we got, oh, here's Susie Hayes. Another high mileage, well respected rider in the sport. She has, I'd have to check Susie's record. Rider number 5, Susie Hayes. I believe her horse is an Anglo-Arab. We can check that. I know Susie's a big fan of big horses. Small lady, big horses.
It's an Arab.
Never mind, he's just a giant Arab, not an Anglo. I know she has some Anglos that she's ridden and completed on, but he is a purebred Arab. So Susie, you know what we could check is Susie's, how many hundreds Susie has done. If we go to ARC. Yeah. I looked at this recently and I should have written it down. So we can see that Susie is, she chose to ride in. We were talking about that earlier, the different strategies. Susie, I know, has had some physical stuff she's been working through, and so I'm guessing that's probably the reason why she has ridden in. Also, Susie's not a large human. I'm not going to speculate what Susie weighs, but she, a smaller person, and she obviously conditions her horses. She's done many hundreds. If you scroll down, oh, well, there you go. Okay, Susie has completed 97 100-mile rides in her endurance career. She has lifetime mileage of 28,200 miles. She's entered 123 100-mile rides, and she's completed 97 of them. So you know what? When you've done 120, you've entered 123 100-mile rides. She can do whatever she wants. She can ride that horse into that vet check. But again, it's just a different cooling strategy that people know their horses, right? They know where that horse is going to be at in their recoveries. They know what they need to do, where they need to cool, all of that good stuff.
What about some of the saddles?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, saddles. Let's talk about saddles. So Susie is, I think I was looking at the saddle while she went by. I'm pretty sure it's a Reactor Panel. Reactor Panel is one of the sponsors of Tevis. They are a paneled saddle design. It's a little different from traditional flocked saddles. They're cool. You can check them out online, Reactor Panel saddles, if you're interested in learning more. They're pretty common in endurance. Have you noticed what everybody else has been in? I haven't spotted.
I haven't. There's often a lot of specialized.
Yeah. Specialized saddles out of Texas are really popular in endurance. A lot of riders are in those. It's the saddle that fits. There's all sorts of things. Some people ride in English saddles. Some people are riding in full-blown Western saddles. In general, we try and keep weight down, but my friend Jenny, who's a Hagen Cup winner, the year she won the Hagen, the saddle that fit that particular horse was incredibly heavy. And it was just the saddle that fit him. And I happened to be down at, I think, Francisco's that year, maybe Lower Quarry. And she was so, I like to tease her about this, she was so fatigued and so tired she could not get the saddle on the horse. So I came and hucked this saddle onto the horse. And it was, a traditional Western saddle. I mean, the thing had to be 40 pounds. But that's the saddle that fit that horse. He had a little bit of a different back conformation. So we use what works. Hi.
Just got back from Last Chance.
I'm live. Okay. We've got another rider coming in. Oh, it's Suzanne Fordhuff, number 3.
All right, we have number 3 coming in now.
Number 3, Suzanne Fordhuff. It's almost 6 o'clock. We've been talking about shoes a lot today. I can't tell. That is a this horse is wearing. Are those sneakers? They might be. They might be sneakers. Orthotics. We were talking about those earlier, but those are nailed on. Orthotics are a nail-on shoe. They were created by the former head farrier at UC Davis. Okay, we're continuing to have a trickle of people come in. Folks online, what now that we're starting to get more horses in, what are you feeling? You want me to keep moving around? Would you like me to be more stationary and set up the tripod? It's up to you guys. We'll keep our camera panned this way for now so that we can see we've got our great in-timers working here. They are ready to take numbers and make sure that timing gets done efficiently. We're ready for the tripod. I see a couple of, yeah, it's hard to stand still. I mean, I'm a human. I move around. Drug yourselves. No. Yeah, we can go. I'm gonna go climb in my truck, because we should now start getting a pretty steady stream of horses coming through. So we're gonna get up there into the truck. Hold on. Gotta get out my step stool. Okay.
A 12-hand person and a 16-hand.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I'm climbing into my full-size pickup truck, which I'm not a tall person, and we're also parked with the tailgate up in an angle that makes it even taller than it normally is. So we're gonna perch. Let's get this set up here. Okay. How about that? We'll let that stabilize. Okay. I see people are continuing to talk about saddles. Yeah, right. It's whatever works for you. And something else I'll point out is that men and women, people who are born male or female, have different shaped pelvises. So the pelvic bone structure of men and women is very different. And most saddles, particularly, well, I know English saddles better, so I can speak to that, are designed for a male pelvis. And they can be really hard sometimes to get them to fit properly for women. I have struggled with saddle fit historically because I have very long femurs. I'm a very short person with randomly long femurs, and so that's hard for me to get my legs really under me and in a nice balanced position in a saddle. I've been able to have more success now that with some brands that I know work for my body. But yeah, it's whatever works. English saddles, Western saddles, endurance saddles, which are really more Western shaped without a horn. You can get bum cushions, as you guys are discussing, or sheepskins or things like that to help cushion. But that's all individual too. I personally, I've tried sheepskins in all of my saddles, and I find that they actually increase chafing, so I don't use them. So yeah, you got a lot of experimenting in endurance to find out what works for you, what works for your horse. There's an old saying in endurance: you don't want to try something new the day of a ride, and that is true. You probably don't want to put a brand spanking new saddle on a horse and go ride 50 miles, right? That not a good idea generally. Thanks, Jackie. We got to unplug this one.
Not the Starlink. Not the Starlink.
Okay. If anybody's just joining us here, we are at Foresthill, the 1 hour vet check at mile 68 of the ride. We have had almost our top 10 come in. Has our top 10 come in? Are we at 10?
Let me see. Probably
The standing should update you.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes.
Okay. And our top 10 has all come in. I think. Sure.
Sonoma.
So we had Sonoma Blakely come in, followed by Jeremy and Heather Reynolds,
Ronvig.
followed by Ronvig.
Ronvig.
Renve.
That's how someone correct the pronunciation.
Renve. We've been asking this all day.
I know.
Jackie is full of facts. She says that it's Renve. So I'm going to try and remember to pronounce that poor woman's name correctly.
Then Molly.
Then we had Molly Quiris come in, Jay Marrow,
Andy Batello.
Andy Batello, and Karen Donnelly,
And Susie Hayes.
Susie Hayes, and Suzanne Ford Huff. That's our top 10 into Foresthill at this point. It is, I think our first rider came in about 5:15. And it's 6:15?
606.
6:06, yeah. So top 10's clustered in about 45 minutes there. And we're going to really start, as the ride goes on, the horses get more spread out, right, depending on pacing. And so what we often see here at Foresthill is a real rush of horses after 7 o'clock, usually. We just get hordes of them coming in. The pulse time here, there is a mandatory cutoff time at Foresthill this year of 8:45 pulse. So that means the horses have to be in and they have to be pulsed by 8:45 p.m. That does not mean you can be coming walking up Bath Road at 8:45 p.m. You're going to be overtime, unfortunately. So they recommend that riders are coming into Foresthill with enough time to pulse before 8:45. Some horses pulse very quickly, but some don't. Because again, they've just gone through what's arguably the hardest part of the whole ride, which is the 3 canyons. It's a lot of climbing. It's a lot of elevation gain and loss. And they're hot, they're tired, they're ready for a break. But what's nice about Tevis is that from this point forward in the ride, it is more downhill. Some of it's actually relatively steep down. There's some ups. Especially after you cross No Hands Bridge, you got to climb back up to Auburn from the river, but it's not the level of climbing that the horses have done earlier in the day going up Squaw, towards Watson's Monument in Palisades, what was formerly called Squaw Valley. And the canyons. So from here, it is mostly a downhill ride from here to Auburn. It's actually a very pretty trail. It's a lot of the trail that, it's going to be dark here. Probably, it's about, what's sunset here? I'd have to look up, but I noticed yesterday evening by 8:30 it was pretty dusky. So we'll be wrapping up the feed here, by 8:45, depending on where horses are timing wise. If everybody is in before then, wonderful. Then we'll wrap the feed before then.
This one came by here. Very cool. Well, you guys have a good night.
You too.
It's not.
back was asking why some of the riders were wearing bicycle helmets instead of riding helmets.
A topic near and dear to me. Okay. Somebody asked a great question earlier about helmet choice and why some of the riders are wearing bicycle helmets. So, this is a bit of a rabbit hole. Here's the thing. Equestrian helmets, unfortunately, in my opinion, and based on many riders' opinions, the technology that you find in equestrian helmets is well behind what's in mountain bike helmets. So mountain bike industry is much larger than the equestrian industry at this point. You have a lot more mountain bikers out there. There's a lot more brands. They are lighter. They are more comfortable. They have much better airflow. They do, contrary to popular belief, most mountain bike helmets do reach down and cover the full base of the skull near your medulla, which is what you want covered in the event of equestrian accident. And they're just a lot more comfortable. They're cheaper, and they have MIPS technology in them, which is an concussive technology that was invented a couple of decades ago in Europe, and it's standard in bike helmets, a lot of bike helmets, motorcycle helmets, things like that. And for whatever reason, it's only made it over to a few equestrian helmet companies. And so the last time I looked, to get a MIPS equestrian helmet was triple the cost of what you can get a MIPS mountain bike helmet. And I know that's why some riders choose to ride them. So to each their own. This is not a declaration of any decision that anybody should be making, but they are they're lighter and they're arguably more comfortable. That's usually what most people like about them. Good. I had some pickles earlier. Yeah. Oh, I got mine at the store. Great. Good.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are people allowed to switch tack in the middle of the ride?
Ooh, that's a good question, Jackie. Jackie asks, can people switch tack in the middle of the ride? And the answer is yes. You can pretty much do whatever the heck you want in endurance. That's one of the things people like about it. So I noticed that actually at Robinson in particular, some of the crews were hauling their carts out and they had saddles in the carts. And that makes me think that the riders potentially switched saddles at the Robinson Flat Vet Check. So in general, people are going to do it at one of two spots, either here at Foresthill or at Robinson Flat when you have the 1 hour hold. They are not always stripping tack at the gate and go checks, which are all of the other vet checks in between. But yeah, I mean, theoretically, you don't even have to use a saddle. You could ride it bareback.
There's a
Really?
requirement.
Oh, there is?
Saddle requirement.
See, this is why I have my friends here to correct me. They said that there is a saddle requirement now. I do know that yes, in recent years, due to safety things, there's been an added requirement of breast collar and some sort of head stall on the horse. So you do not have to use a bit. They define it in the rules in the Tevis Cup website, so you can go and peruse if you're interested. But there needs to be a rein attachment to some sort of a head stall, a halter, a bit, a hackamore, a side pole, a bosal, whatever you'd like, controlling the horse's head, and a breast collar to keep you safe, because this is really steep, right? Folks who have ridden this trail know that. People who could train and condition around here in Foresthill and the surrounding areas know that it's really steep terrain, and so you just want to have a breast collar on for safety.
Kim wouldn't let me ride with a breast collar.
Do I?
Should I interview you?
Not particularly. My friends are giving me a hard time. Okay. Somebody's asked, who am I? Who am I? My name is Kristen. I do ride endurance. I have entered Tevis once. I did not finish. It was 100% my fault. It was Tevis is the only 100-mile ride I've ever entered and not finished. Fun fact. We have Nicole Wirtz coming in with Sammy. So this is rider number 11, I believe, coming into Foresthill here. Okay, here is Nicole Wirtz and Sammy. Nicole's got a very patriotic outfit on. Rider number 6. And here comes another rider. Here's John Perry. So John, this is Diva, yeah? Yeah, so John and Diva won the Hagen Cup last year. I should say Diva did. The horse wins the cup. So that is last year's Hagen Cup winner. And it looks like, unfortunately, she lost a shoe there. I don't know if you folks noticed as she went by. She's got a Easy Boot Epic on that front foot because, unfortunately, they lost a glue-on. This happens with glue-ons. Sometimes. That was, speaking of why it was my fault, I did not complete the year I entered Tevis because I lost my glue-ons and then did not have enough boots on me, because why on earth would you do something like bring enough boots to put on your horse and have that protection? And so my mare went 7 miles partially barefoot. I was shocked that she was still sound. We were given the green light to go ahead. At Robinson Flat, I had the farriers shoe her and put pads on her, and then because of the timing of getting behind with the boot and the glue-on debacle, and then just some other things that popped up. She was mentally pretty done at that point in the ride, and after Robinson Flat, you go down to Last Chance, and then you go into the canyons, and I thought, there's no way. I'm not doing this. I'm not pushing my horse through the canyons when she's mentally done. I could tell her feet were uncomfortable, even though I had the shoes put on her. I mean, she'd gone 7 miles on very, very rocky, hard pack. It's kind of a gross forest road there from Red Star to Robinson Flat. So we were done. And that is okay. And now she makes babies.
Any mandatory or optional drug testing, equine or human?
That's a great question. So we have a question about mandatory drug testing, equine or human. No, we don't test the humans. So yeah, I'm not sure what that says about us. I'm just going to leave that out there, that humans, you can be on whatever you'd like. Equine drug testing, yes. So the equines do get drug tested. I don't. The California Department of Agriculture, I want to say, oversees the drug testing. And I don't remember if it's like a certain percentage of the horses they test each year. But yeah, we do have very strict drug criteria in endurance. That's one of the things that a lot of folks like and respect about the sport. So a lot of substances that are very commonly allowed in other equestrian sports are not allowed in endurance, and so it arguably makes the feat of what these horses are doing even more impressive, because they are these are not they're not on painkillers, they are not on steroids, they're not on all of these other substances that have their purposes in veterinary medicine, but you cannot compete on them. So I would say, off the top of my head, arguably AERC and the Tevis Cup and associated endurance rides have the strictest drug criteria out of any modern equestrian sport. Okay, we got people turning around. We're just monitoring to. Okay, so we have our top 12 in. We have our folks from the, I believe it's the Placer County Animal Rescue. Shout out to the Placer County Animal Rescue groups that are here. They are just here as safety precautions, making sure everybody has a good day. If there's any problems out on trail, they're here to help. Again, volunteers dedicating their time and energy. What we're going to do here, since you guys are having a little bit of a hard time hearing me, actually, my phone needs to charge. So we're going to do a little mic swap here. Hold it tight, everybody. The film should, or the feed should continue, but I'm going to swap here. Hold tight. Okay, test, test, test. I think we're working. Got my AirPods in here, so hopefully this will be better. Give us a shout out or a something online if you can hear me a little better now. All right, we have a rider in. Oh, and here's Lucy. Okay, Lucy is one of our dedicated live feed folks here in the bright yellow shirt. She was talking to you all earlier at Elephant's Trunk and some other spots along the trail, Deadwood. Rider 58.
Hey, Susanna. You know where anybody else is?
Oh, that was Carrie Bruscotter from Ohio. And this is her first Tevis. Go Carrie. She's moving along. That's a very good, very decent pace for one's first Tevis. Okay, sorry everyone, hang tight. We're looking for cords so that we can get this phone plugged in and get it some juice. Okay. We don't know if my phone's charging. We'll find out. At least you can hear me a little better. Another popular question or topic that we were discussing previously this year is conditioning. Somebody at Robinson Flat was asking about what do you do if you live in an area that doesn't get particularly hot, right? And it's a great question. I'm one of those people now. I'm from California originally, but I now live outside of Seattle, Washington, which is not a climate known for its heat. And it's definitely there's some strategy to it. We have several Washington riders entered in the ride this year. Unfortunately, as one of them, Mary Krause, I saw did get pulled, which was a bummer. And I'm not sure if her daughter Greta is still in the ride. Greta has a different last name from her mom, and so I'm always spacing on her last name because I want to call her Greta Krause, and that's not correct. I don't think. Anyway, I believe our other four Washington riders are still in the game, and those those folks they live on the peninsula in an area that's kind of west of Seattle. So again, not very hot. It's a very lovely temperate climate we have in Washington, and they were just getting out in the heat as much as they could. So a warm day for us might be upper 70s, low 80s, but we are more humid than California. This is a drier heat, and the humidity in Washington is higher, and so that increases the overall heat index, relative heat index, and so that's one way you can get it done is by just training in a little bit more humidity. You're going to have a horse that's a little more exposed and conditioned to heat and sweating and sweat loss because you have less evaporative cooling in more humid climates. And so the horses do get a little more, there's just different ways of dissipating heat. You can do things like put a blanket on a horse on a warm day and simulate what it's like going in and out of the canyons. You can, ride as much as you can in the heat of the day. And you can haul out to hotter climates in Washington, right? We just have to go on over the Cascades to the other side, and we'll get significantly warmer temps. 90s, getting close to triple digits, and then you can go do heat and hail training. So we do have one rider who's entered this year, who I believe is from Alaska, and I'd have to go check it. I can't recall if they're still in the ride or not. But that I'm not sure what one would do if you live in Alaska. I think you would do a lot of hill training, and you would probably, I guess, need to do some simulated heat training, right, with blankets or other means. All right, so I'm suspecting, just based on the flow here, right? We've only had the top 11 come in, not 12. Okay. So we've had the top 11 come in, and it is 6 something. Sorry, I'm repositioning our tripod here. Apologies, everyone, for the gaps. I'm fiddling with technology and stuff and cords and horses. What do horses eat during the day? Here, horses eat hay. um, okay, so we had a question asking about what horses eat. That's a great question. So, in general, most endurance riders are going to emphasize a forage heavy diet. And by forage, I mean hay, pasture, hay related products like chopped hay or hay cubes, things like that. Soaked beet pulp is a very common food source. It's a lot of really good fiber. Horses are hindgut fermenters, and so they need a lot of fiber in their diet to keep all the gut bugs happy. And then usually people are feeding some type of what we would call a concentrate feed that can come in the form of a ration balancer, which is fed in lower amounts, maybe a pound or two a day to get the vitamins and mineral needs met, or some sort of a complete feed that you feed in higher poundage per day that will meet fat, protein, all of that kind of stuff requirements. Definitely, it's good to know about nutrition and endurance. This is a sport where food really matters for both equine and human. And so it's really good to know what your horse likes to eat. A lot of times people will put out a bit of a buffet for their horses, especially at a stop like Foresthill here, where you have an hour hold, right? They're going to, maybe put out 3, 4, 5 different food options because they want these horses eating at this point. Horses can go a while without eating. It's not necessarily good, but they can do it. And we want at this point in the ride, if you have a horse that's not eating, you've got a problem. That's not going to do well over the course of 100 miles. These horses have to be taking care of themselves. Um, we've got riders who aren't eating at this point, and that's also probably going to be a problem. Depending, riders know their own bodies, but you gotta keep hydrated. You gotta stay fueled. Horse and rider, you gotta do your electrolytes. This is tremendous sweat loss. Over the course of the ride, there was a study done that showed that these horses are producing enough heat to melt. I think it was a 50-pound block of ice and bring that water to boil. So if you are folks that have a background in physics, right, or any of that, that's a lot of energy, right? That's a lot of heat that's being created, and that's why we cool. Riders are getting water on these horses as much as possible. They're keeping them as cool as possible at all points in the ride, and then they need them eating and drinking at these holds. In particular, since there's only 2 1-hour holds over the whole course of the ride, these are the really important. Pardon me, really important opportunities to get the horses rested and refueled as much as you can. Some horses will take a nap. They'll eat all their food and then nap for a little bit and then perk back up and continue out on the trail. It's since we're approaching 6:30, it's definitely getting a little bit cooler out here. I can feel the temperature just drop a little bit. We got a lot more shade. The sun is, now well behind the trees. And so um, the in the sun, thank you. Yeah, so Molly is sharing the in sun temperature is 91, but in the shade, I would imagine it's cooler. Who knows? It's cooler in the shade. Um, there's a little breeze, yeah. Sometimes we get a little more breezy as the evening goes on. It can get and that can be really pleasant to help cool things off. All right, I was feeling this might be our pacing today. We might have some crickets here.
You want to talk about the trackers sometimes going down or taking
Yeah. So just as a friendly reminder, the spot trackers, the GPS devices that folks wear on them for the course of the ride, they have a little bit of a tough time in the canyons. They work pretty well most of the ride, we find, but then sometimes they just lose their little tracker brains in the canyons and around Forest Hill, going down into Cal 2 and into Francisco's too. The rest of the ride, it can get a little bit hit or miss because they're going in and out of some ravines and canyons and things like that. And so don't panic if your rider, you're tracking them and their GPS tracker hasn't moved in a while. That does happen sometimes. Sometimes also riders will see them, maybe they get pulled at a check and then they put the horse in the transport vehicle and all of a sudden the tracker is going 50 miles an hour and everybody goes, oh my God, well, they're in a truck and trailer. So yeah, they're a tool. They are a helpful safety tool. We're glad to have the technology. They are required now for all Tevis riders to wear one for safety reasons, but it's an imperfect technology, and it's better than nothing. Better than having people out and we don't know where they are. And here comes Chuck. We're going to get him on the live stream. Here's ride director. He needs his makeup, he says. That's our ride director, Chuck Stolley. And this is actually his last year. He's going to be ride director. I think this is his 15th or 16th year being ride director. The man has put in the time, and we appreciate his efforts and everything he has done to support the Tevis Cup over the years. And sorry, my little dingle here is hanging out. Okay, there we go. His daughter, Jen, is currently in the ride, and we should be seeing Jen soon.
Yeah, and there's a request for one of those ones to come in to follow up to the sponsoring area. Just turn the camera.
Okay. Follow him to turn the camera to the spot. We can do that. We can turn to. I can't see your guys' comments when I am, because I'm in a different app for live streaming purposes. So when you comment, my helpers here are reading the comments to me, and and I'm trying to repeat them back to you all, so you know that I hear you. But yeah, we can pan over and look at the sponging area. Well, while we're waiting here for more riders to come in, I'm gonna have a snack. Although we got somebody coming up here. We're gonna see who it is. It's a horse. That's all I can tell you at this point.
Have 4 legs.
Can confirm. Equus. Two horses here. Okay, we're gonna get numbers. This is a nice thing about being near the end timer at Foresthill is they get the numbers, and so we can hear them. Okay, we have Karen. 105. Rider number 105 coming in through, and rider number 95. 95 and 105. Karen Stowell and Amrita O'Leary. Yep, I think this might be Haley Estevez coming up. We see a gated horse. Thanks, Hannah, for the shout out. I can see the little pop ups because I have my notifications set on my phone to do that. My friend Hannah, shout out to South Dakota. I was talking to somebody earlier from South Dakota here volunteering for the ride, although she's on the other side. She's in Sioux Falls. I think this is Haley. Yeah, a young person, a gated horse. Molly and I think is Haley, but we'll get the number as they come through. This is a very cute little horse. I can't remember the horse's breed. We can look at. We think it's Rocky Mountain. Rocky Mountain Arab Cross. Supernova. 12-year-old chocolate Rocky Mountain Arab Cross. Yeah, very very cute little horse. Got a very cute little Arab profile head, and then a bit more of the gated. Oh boy! Oh, camera fall. Sorry, everyone. Hold on. We're losing a battery pack. Oh my god. Okay, we're falling apart here. Hold on. Let's get her. Okay, there we go. Oh, sponging. Okay, let's. We're gonna lift. I don't know if you guys can see that too much. Let's stand up. Now I'm very tall. Yeah, they're sponging. They're heading. Amrita and Karen, I believe, is the gal that was with her. They're already headed to the vet check. So that's, hey, that's great to see, right? If those horses have been cooled and sponged and they're already meeting pulse criteria, we love to see that in endurance, right? That is a horse, or that is a sign that the horse is usually in pretty good shape, right? Metabolically speaking, there could be a lameness going on or something like that, but they're hitting their pulse criteria. They're ready for a break. They've hopefully had a nice big drink. They're staying hydrated. All of those good things that we care about. Jackie's passing around photos here. It's a classic. So my dear friend Jackie, who's behind me, crewed for me in 2018, the year I rode, and she's showing the famous belly photo, as we call it, because Jackie was 8 months pregnant. Yes, 8 months pregnant when she crewed for me. And don't mess with Jackie, man. Jackie is forever crew for me when I do hundreds, because she is both horse whisperer and can whisper Kristen, which is an important skill to have in a crew member. We were talking about crews earlier today at Robinson, and to each their own. I personally think that you need somebody who is a good, competent horse handler on your crew. You need at least one, ideally two. Jackie was my only horse handler the year I did it, and I was okay with that because my mare Lonnie was really pretty easy and didn't require specific skills, but. She would just eat. She just wanted her bull held. Just eat her, tell her she's nice. She was fine. Um, but yeah, no. So we gotta. We won't embarrass folks by sharing the photo on social media. But it's a great shot of a very pregnant Jackie standing on the other side of me and my horse, and you just see Emerson in utero. He's here now. He's a human. He's grown and developed in the last years. Um, but yeah, no, people were very concerned about Jackie's well-being at Robinson Flat that year because being so visibly pregnant, people were like, "Oh my God, can I carry things for you? Are you going to die and overheat?" Yeah, and Jackie, don't mess with Jackie. She will fight you if you come after the beat pulp. If you try and mess with the routine and the order, no, that's what you need in a good crew person. Somebody who will, fight you for the beat pulp. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I see someone coming. We have a running horse, a running person and trotting horse. Yes, yeah. And my crew here is making the point that we hope there's a human. There is a human with this horse. They're coming running up. We're going to tell you who it is. I think it's a chestnut. That's a great question. What do we use to take a pulse rate? We use a stethoscope. Human works fine. People love different things about the stethoscopes that they have. I got a $20 one off Amazon that works just fine. Okay, here's Wash Blakely running into to Forest Hill. So this is Sonoma's dad, rider number 55. Wash Blakely. All right, and there he goes to cool himself. We're going to pan back over because now we got a little cluster coming up here. Jackie had to get her glasses on so she can see. We are, those of us here at the live feed today are not as aged as some of our esteemed colleagues here at the Tevis Cup. But we are getting to the point in our lives where we do need to put on our glasses to see what's going on. Okay, this is some of the Crater Hill folks. Three horses. Okay, rider number 35. That's one of our juniors. Kendall Groth. Number 33, Tierney Bellaberg, another junior. And I believe that this is their sponsor. Yep, here's Carolyn Lindquist, rider number 23, with the two juniors. So the Crater Hill Group is a local riding facility that does a lot of work with juniors in AERC events. And juniors, of course, here, I'm going to put us down here. Juniors do need sponsors. So if you are under the age of 18, you need a sponsor in Tevis? Under 18. Yes. Okay. I couldn't remember if it was 16 or 18. So if you are 18, you can ride on your own. If you're under the age of 18, you do need a sponsor, and you cannot continue the ride on your own if something happens to your sponsor. So that's one of the unique things about Tevis. That is a safety thing. And they put that requirement. There's been a lot of changes to junior rules over the years in Tevis, but that was one of the things that they put into place. And so if you're a junior and unfortunately something happens to your sponsor, you do have to go out and find another sponsor. Now, there's strategies to this though, and the volunteers are here to help. The cup committee is here to help. I mean, we want to see people succeed, right, and get through the ride. So juniors just have to usually ask for help at a checkpoint if their sponsor is pulled, and they can get hooked up with somebody else who is riding close to them. Usually somebody will come through the check and the junior will wait, and then they might ask the next person coming through, hey, can you sponsor this junior? And lots of folks will do that, right? We want to see people complete. But you do have to stick with your junior. You can't leave them on the trail. we want to make sure everybody stays safe out there. Jackie's asking a great question. And she's asking if there's certain bloodlines within the Arabian breed that excel in endurance. And Jackie is asking me this question, smiling at me because she knows this is a topic I like to talk about. And I'm also tired because I've been up since 5. Yeah, so there are, it's shifted a bit over the decades in the sport, but you have what are called CMK horses in the United States. That's just one bloodline that has done particularly well in endurance. That stands for Crabbit, Mainsborough, Kellogg. And those were early foundation breeders in the United States, although Crabbit Arabs are British, but got imported to the US. Lots of successful CMK horses in the sport. We've seen a lot of successful racing lines. A lot of the top riders now, the top 10, are on horses that come from Polish, French, Russian, Arabian racing bloodlines. Those horses tend to be a little bit taller. They're a little bit leaner. I'm really painting with some broad strokes here, so bear with me. But they have some physical characteristics that people like to see. I also see that on average they're taller. So we're getting horses, purebred Arabs that are 15'3", 16 hands in that height range. And let's see, what are other popular lines? Feel free to shout out on Facebook. The Rush Creek, thank you. The Rush Creek horses and the Hyannis Cattle Company horses. I don't believe either facility is still breeding. Hyannis might. Rush Creek hasn't bred in about 15 years, but those were very popular, sought after horses. In the 70s and 80s, they were pretty much winning every year at Tevis. And they're considered really just sound, hardy, just good working. They worked on cattle ranches, so they came from working lines. Purebred Arabian horses. Yeah, the Varian lines are, of course, very well known in the United States. Sheila Varian, who passed, I don't know, some time ago, last 10 years, something like that. Yeah, she was a California breeder. She was very, very well known for the Arab she bred. And those horses have also been very successful in a lot of different show disciplines as well as in endurance.
How old does the horse have to be to enter Tevis? We have a 6-year-old Mustang.
Horses have to be, so we're getting a question about how old horses have to be. So there is a minimum age requirement that a horse is 6 years old in order to do a 100-mile ride. That's another thing I and many other people I think like about endurance is these equine welfare requirements that we put into place. There are a lot of equestrian disciplines where you see 2 and 3-year-old horses competing at pretty high levels or what should I say, very physical types of equestrian sports. And in endurance, to do a 100-mile ride, the horse has to be at least 6 years old. And that is because horses are not physically ready and mature enough to do 100 miles prior to that age. And you'll notice if you look at a lot of the ages of the horses, most of these horses are well over the age of 6. We do have a 6-year-old Mustang this year. We've got some other single-digit horses, but you'll notice that the majority of horses entered in the ride are between the ages of 10 and 20. We had more single digits this year. Molly's counting. It varies a little bit year to year. Earlier, 25. Okay, so 25 of 103 starters. So yeah, again, the majority of horses are over the age of 10, and that is with good reason. There goes in the distance there, that was Wash walking out of the vet check. Horses are in their prime physically, and I would argue Arabians in particular in their prime physically and mentally from the ages of maybe 10 to 15. Some of them even older than that, they're coming into their prime. And so a lot of these we wait. Endurance is a long game. It takes years and years and years of conditioning to get a good 100-miler horse, to get a good Tevis horse, one that can complete and finish successfully. And often, a lot of times, right, these folks want to see the horse not only just do the ride once, but they'll do other hundreds, or they might want to do Tevis multiple times. So longevity is universally, I would say, respected in endurance and really sought after. We don't want to be a flash in the pan. We want to see these horses have multiple decade careers.
Can someone please talk about how many have come in so far? Weight study from the 90s in Tevis.
Yeah. Okay, so Molly's telling me you guys want to know about the weight study from the 90s at Tevis. I'm going to pan the camera back around here because I got to show Jen. There's Jen. Hi, Jen. It looks like we have a horse coming up. Clarifying question. When you say a camera swap to the water troughs, are folks asking for us to move closer to the water troughs, or you just want the camera pointed towards the water troughs? Here we have, okay, here's rider 80, or horse number 88, I should say. Jen's horse. Okay, I thought that was Jen's horse, but here he is. He just was having a drink, and here's Chuck going in dad mode. The Stolly family between mom, dad, and the two kids, Jen and Alyssa, have 30 something buckles amongst those four humans, and then Chuck has been the ride director the last 15 years. So I always smile, and I've said this to Jen. I can't imagine doing the sport with my parents. I don't know about all of you. This is not, I would not choose to do endurance with my mother and father, but bless the families that do it. I admire them so much for it. And I think it's great. Okay, we were talking cameras. People want to be closer to the water troughs.
I'm sure. I said, can you film as they come on the bathroom or at the expansion?
So, unfortunately, well, fortunately or unfortunately, the reason why we are where we are is a couple of reasons. So, I'm using a Starlink, and there's more tree cover here at Forest Hill. We are not allowed to park further down Bath Road. It's private property, and vehicles are only allowed to go up and down Bath Road if it's an actual residence, like somebody who lives down there, and so, or emergency vehicles. So I can't move my truck and my stuff closer down there. There's also, you can see actually more tree cover. So I'm not going to get as good connectivity on the Starlink. And then we can get we can go closer to the water troughs. That's certainly a possibility. I think the connectivity with Starlink will hold, but unfortunately, we cannot go further down Bath Road. It's just the logistics are not working in our favor. This is also a bit of this is the slow period, right? We're seeing a trickle, and we're what time is it? It's what time is it?
7.
It's 7. So we've got an hour and 45 minutes for, I don't know, 70 riders to come through. I haven't looked at the poll list recently. So we're going to really start getting a lot more action here. I know this is a little bit slow right now. There's not as much to look at this check in these span of time. And that's because these folks are really starting to space out. But once we start getting the folks that are running more of the mid pack, back of the pack pace, it's going to get a lot more interesting. We're going to have a lot more clumps of people coming through.
Somebody keeps asking if we can pick up the yellow sign.
Got our volunteers going back and forth here, staying busy, doing things. Speaking of volunteers, it takes on average, I have been told, I haven't fact checked this, an average of 800 volunteers to put on the Tevis Cup ride across various positions. So again, the logistics cannot be understated. This is a very, there's just a lot that goes into putting on this ride every year. The permits, we go through multiple ownership. I'm sorry, I'm losing my how to say this. There's different people that own different parts of the trail. There's private property that we have to work with. There's Forest Service. There's wilderness areas. There's all sorts of stuff, and so it's the Tevis continues to be a labor of love, and we want to see it continue to happen for years to come. It is the oldest endurance ride in the world. It's considered the founding ride in the sport. And we want it to continue to stick around. And in order to do that, we need our volunteers. And we also need to continue to talk about the funding portion of things, which is the Western States Trail Foundation is the 501c3 nonprofit behind the Tevis Cup. And they take donations. Again, they're tax deductible since they are a nonprofit in California. So if you have enjoyed what you are seeing today on the live feed, you are interested in helping out, you want to see this ride continue in the future, please consider making a donation. You can go to the teviscup.org website, and there is a donate now button on the main page. And you can send a donation. Even small amounts add up. It's a significant amount of money that it takes to put on this ride. Unfortunately, in recent years, the ride has not even been able to break even based on rider entries alone. And so we really rely on those donations, the volunteer time and energy, all of these different groups and sources coming together to put on this ride and continue to see it happen. Okay. Got an update from Jackie. According to the standings, we have 28 polls so far. We started 103 this morning. So 28 thus far. Now, of course, that tracker continues to update as the day goes on, but that is, I'd have to go back in past years and see how that averages out. That feels typical for this point in the ride, but I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at other years. Who are we expecting next? Okay, looks like we're waiting for Emily Farmer to come in.
Actually, yeah, it looks like we have 31 riders come out of Chicken Hawks.
Okay.
We've gotten about 18.
Okay. So we have about 31 riders that have come out of Chicken Hawk, and we've had about 18 come in here at Foresthill. So we're still waiting on those other 13 folks. And the rest of the folks are still coming through. They're still in the canyons. I believe our Chicken Hawk feed is still up and running. I think Brenna is still down there. So if you want to watch multiple feeds, of course you can do that. Joys of the internet. You will see horses going down the trail at the Chicken Hawk feed. I believe they're stationed just outside or after the vet check, so you can actually see the horses on the trail. And Chicken Hawk is 4 miles before this check. So we're mile 68, they're mile 64.
So yeah, chicken live. Chicken Hawk is still live.
Okay, good. Thank you. Jackie's confirming our Chicken Hawk feed is still live. So I think there's some discussion online occurring about you spectating at different points on the trail and where crew can meet the riders and things like that. There's a lot of we do have a lot of rules here at the Tevis Cup, and that's both for logistics and safety of everybody involved. Again, because we work with so many different groups, there are certain points at the trail where crews are allowed to meet their riders, and there are points where crews are not allowed. And we are very firm about that. That is, if somebody is caught crewing for a rider at an unauthorized point, that your rider will be disqualified. So we take it really seriously. We have, like I said, rules in place for everybody's safety. And I know that can be disappointing because people are excited. They want to go see different points on the trail. Some of these points on the trail are actually very difficult to access. You would be, hiking miles on foot down to certain points and things like that. And that's why we try here at the live feed to bring you the live coverage as best as we can throughout the day so that you can see the different points. We've got some future plans we're talking about. We might try to utilize drones at some point to get you actual footage of the trail, particularly in areas like the canyons where the cell, there's just no cell connectivity and we're not going to be able to get a Starlink signal out. We've done some testing with that. And it's just not safe to hike in nor really logistically feasible. So now we've got drones that we can fly down there. However, you got to get a permit for those. So we were not able to do that this year, but we're thinking about that for future years. Lucy and some other members of the live feed are going to be down at Francisco's this year, which is cool. We're not usually live at Francisco's, so she's going to stay live down there until it gets dark was her goal. Francisco's is a party. They have lights, they got music, they have a lot of food options down there. They've got they have all sorts of things. So we'll be live at Francisco's. We'll see how that turns out with timing this year. I mean, again, it's already 7. It's going to be dark by 9. And we're still waiting on most of the riders. So Lucy's plan was to go down there and take static photo and video and upload it once we lose the light and we can't be live anymore. It's just too hard to see. Thanks, Jackie. Jackie's gate person now. We wear many hats. Volunteers wear many hats at Tevis. If you want to come, speaking of, if anybody's interested in volunteering for Tevis, it's a very cool opportunity. I highly recommend it. There's lots of jobs, something for everyone. You all might recall that earlier we were talking to somebody here from South Dakota, volunteering for the first time at an endurance event. They were a dressage rider and a jumper, and they just wanted to see what it was all about. And I think that's great. So anybody who's interested in volunteering for the Tevis Cup next year, just go down to the website. It might take a bit for them to open up the volunteer sign up next year. I think they do it starting some period January. Okay, some period of months before the ride. But you can go on. You can choose a choose a point that you would like to volunteer. Maybe think about what job you want to do, all of that stuff. Okay, we've got somebody who's hamming it up here for the crowd coming up the. No, we're gonna get you a rider number. This rider is cheering themselves as they go along. I love it, and waving at everybody, doing the Queen's wave. Okay, so this we did this earlier. So this is Carrie from Bruscotter from Ohio, and I know we said one of the earlier riders was her, and I think we're either misreading a number on a horse or the number has washed off or the person is confused about their number. But anyway, this is rider 58. That is Carrie Bruscotter from Ohio. And I remember seeing online that this is her first Tevis attempt. She's doing great. Okay, we've got other folks coming up the trail here. Sorry, the telephone pole is in the way. That is, I can actually try and position myself a little bit here to move so that we're not blocked by the telephone pole. Maybe a little bit better. All right. This person looks tired. We're gonna. Oh, now they're cheery. They have a friend. We will get you this rider name and number. He looks like he's ready for a break. 91. This is rider 91. This is Glenn Morgan. Where's Glenn from?
Ramona, California.
Glenn is from Ramona, California. Shay, shout out to Ramona, California. I know many people from Ramona, California. It's outside of San Diego.
Someone is asking how the announcer knows everything.
Some kind yet maybe delusional human is asking how I know all of these things. Uh, no, thank you. Um, the random facts in my head live there for random reasons. Doing the sport helps. You learn things and you just, I've also been doing this. I think this is my 11th year working the live feed. And so you start to memorize names and faces and facts and things like that. But I got to give a shout out to Molly and Jackie, who are sitting here behind me with computers looking things up on the internet. So that's the real secret of how we get this done is this is a multi-person job. We do need helpers. Before the ride this year, I tried to do a little fact finding and I wrote some things down and turned it into a PDF and mailed it out. So Jackie's reminding me and making such a great point that another wonderful thing to do, if you are interested in the sport of endurance, sure, come on down to Tevis and help out. It's a whole scene. Most rides don't look like Tevis, both in the logistics and the number of people and those sorts of things. So, if you're interested in the sport of endurance, I really encourage people to reach out, find a ride in your local region. We have rides in most states in the United States, and Canada has rides in most provinces. And go volunteer at a local ride. Go meet people. Go say hi. Go learn how to take a pulse. Go learn how to time. I mean, those positions. These timing folks here at rides like Tevis are usually pretty experienced, but if you want to learn how to time, go down to your local rides and volunteer and watch and learn because it's a lot of fun. And you learn so much about the sport. And you can find your local rides at aerc.org. Or if you reside in the Pacific Northwest, you also should check out EDRA, the Equine Distance Riding Association, which is a very similar organization to AERC. I'm going to pause this thought. Here's Melissa Montgomery. Rider number 89.
Melissa and
Kristen Kanar is rider number 82. Those ladies, all right, Melissa was far too chipper coming in here. Melissa's great. She rides lots of rides in the West region. I partnered her with her for a team thing at the 20 Mule Team ride, which is a ride in the Pacific South region. I think that was in 2019, and all of our team members finished the 100 that year, and we were all in the top 10. That was fun, and I had no crew, and I cried in the desert, as you do sometimes when you ride a horse 100 miles, because I was uncomfortable. Yeah. So other opportunities to get involved, things you can do. So the Tevis Ed Ride is held every other year now, I believe, and I'd have to double check that, but I think it is every other year now. And that is an awesome opportunity for folks to come and experience parts of the trail. So they don't ride the whole trail. They usually stage here and ride a couple directions, but you get to see a lot of the trail. You get mentored. You're put into a group, usually of about 3 or 4 riders per mentor, and they take you down the trail and they teach you things. It's an incredible experience. You can learn from some really knowledgeable long-term endurance riders and people who have completed the Tevis Cup many times. So if you're interested in riding Tevis and you can logistically get yourself to California in a year where they are doing the Ed Ride, I highly recommend it. I did the Ed Ride in 2017. Yeah, that sounds right. 16 or 17. It was really informative. Learned a ton, and it's a great experience. So that's another way to get involved, learn more about the trail, see things if you're interested in ever coming out and riding Tevis. Let's see real quick. I'm just curious to. Wow. Okay, our front runners are out of Foresthill already. Just looking at the standings again. If you want to check this out for yourself, you go to teviscup.us/standings/2026, and that gives you the most. Oh yeah, a lot of people are out of Foresthill. Wow. Actually, our top 10 are all out of Foresthill. Okay, on they go. Sorry, I'm just pausing here to look at the our poll list. Okay, we have our top 20. I'm confirming this here, but we have our top 23 riders in at Foresthill. It looks like next we're looking for, oh no, we have our top 25 in because Melissa and Kirsten just came in. Looks like we've got a few more folks right behind them. They were out of Chicken Hawk at 6:46. So yeah, we'll see those folks in the next 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how quickly they're going. Yeah, this will be a good cluster here coming in. It looks like we're waiting for Carmen Romer, Shanti Curtin, Travis Underwood, Lindsay Fisher, Christoph Schork, Alicia Zabowska, Brandon Brunner, Marion LeBourne, Ryan Ellis, Chelsea Arnold, Vanessa Erickson, Alex Niehaus, Jen Niehaus, Frank Crum, Emily Hart, Christine Hartman, Hal Hall, and Monica Bennett are all listed as out of Chicken Hawk on the tracker. Yeah, and Shantae is one our rider this year who is deaf, and so she's wearing a vest to notify people of that. I was told, and I can't confirm this, so hearsay, but I was told that she does have some level of hearing, but is not able to hear riders when they're coming up her on the trail and things like that. And so she has a vest, but that's been great to see her participating this year. All right. I'm cheering on our it looks like our riders are back of the pack, our people bringing in the back, an important place to be. We're out of Michigan Bluff at about 7:10. So those folks are, let's do a little refresher for you all on checkpoints. So we are here at Foresthill. This is mile 68. We do have a cutoff time of 8:45 p.m. Horses need to be pulsed and in by 8:45 p.m. Chicken Hawk, which is 4 miles before us, has a cutoff time of 7:45 p.m. And then the cutoff time before that was Deadwood, which had a 5 p.m. So Chicken Hawk is going to be closing up here in the next 25 minutes or so. All of the riders need to be into Chicken Hawk, and I'm rooting for them. I think that they will be. So I'm seeing a question about when the next live feed is. And after this, we are going to be live at Francisco's, which is mile 85. Usually, statistically, the front runners come into Francisco's 8 something, can be as early as 8:15, 8:30. I think given that our front runners were out at, let's see, when were our front runners? So Sonoma Blakely was first out of Forest Hill at 6:19. And we're at mile 68. Forest Hill is mile 85. So they have to go about 17 miles. And it's downhill. It's some of it's a little switchbacky, and not quite switchbacky, but it's pretty steep downhill little chunks as you work your way down to the river, which is where Francisco's is. So 17 miles. That's going to take them a little bit to travel that distance, but we will be going live down there at Francisco's. All right, we're waiting for, I suspect, like I said, we've got so a little over an hour. We've got about an hour and 20 minutes for all of our riders to come in here at Forest Hill. Again, there is a cutoff time of 8:45 p.m. Horses have to be in and pulsed. Temperature continues to drop a little bit. It's getting a little more pleasant out here. I'm not sweating anymore. I don't know about anybody else. I'm sure if I was riding, I'd be sweating. No, yeah, it's not cold. I mean, it's still probably 85 out here, but compared to triple digits, I'll take it. So while we're waiting for the next horses, just some other things that we want to talk about and give some shout outs to, again, involved in putting on the ride every year. And again, apologies. I know we are just looking at a road. Folks earlier were saying they would rather have a stable camera than have it moving around, especially because right now there are no horses. I'm looking at the vetting area. I'm looking at the pulsing area. There are no horses there. So we're waiting for horses to come up the road and we show them as they come into the vet check. But otherwise, there's just humans wandering around. So there's nothing else to look at right now. But since the year 2000, the Western States Trail Foundation has spent about $1 million to protect and maintain the trail. That's $10,000 per mile. The donations that they receive as a nonprofit really help keep this dream alive for folks. So if you are in a position to donate, please consider doing so. It is tax deductible since they are a nonprofit. These funds have also been used over the past 3 years to partner with the U.S. Forest Service and reroute the trail in miles 15 to 22. This is in the Granite Chief Wilderness. And will place the trail on a ridge line that is less erosion prone and less densely vegetated. And folks' generous donations help us meet this obligation. Through these generous donations, we've also been able to purchase and pre-stage rescue equipment for horses and humans along the trail to improve emergency response time. Part of these costs on Ride Day are to have emergency medical teams, EMTs, on standby in the event of a rider in distress. So your donations also help offset this cost and ensure a safe journey for all competitors today. In addition, over the years, the Western States Trail Foundation has worked to maintain access to No Hands Bridge. In 1996, secured designation of the Granite Chief Wilderness as a wilderness area in 1984, and championed the designation of the central portion of the trail on the National Register of Historic Places in 1992. So your generosity gives us the resources to continue our mission to preserve and protect this resource. So there is a lot of history in the trail. If you're interested in reading more about that, you can go to teviscup.org and look on the I believe there's a history tab at the top, and you can read all about the history of different points on the trail and how this land was originally used. And actually, now that we're at Forest Hill, we got to give a shout out to Debbie Griffin. It is her 70th birthday today. Debbie provides hoses, carrots, and hospitality every year as the horses come in up Bath Road and into the Forest Hill 1 hour hold. She also has a sculpture that she's known for in her yard. And so anyway, happy birthday to Debbie. Thanks for being one of the important community members that helps our riders out each year on Bath Road. Okay, we're getting an update that it looks like the chicken hawk feed is going to be wrapping up in about 10 minutes. So if anybody's interested in going over there, these live streams do stay present on our YouTube page after they close. So I believe you can go back and watch them after the fact. But we're wrapping up Chicken Hawk down there, and I can see a rider coming. We're going to be looking at a whole rush, and this is very typical of Forest Hill, right? That last hour, that 7:45 to 8:45, we get a whole rush of people that come in here to Forest Hill. Again, we only have about 25 riders in. We're still waiting on, I don't know, I'd have to do the math, but let's call it 50 riders, 40 to 50 to come in. And so there's going to be a big rush of activity here coming up. Okay, we've got a rider approaching, and the crew is cooling the horse. It's a nice chestnut with a blaze. We're going to get you a rider number so we can see who this is as they come up. We have a running crew member. Okay, I believe this is rider number 25. And I'm holding my own computer and looking at Molly like she should be giving me information. Rider number 25 is Carmen Romer from the Netherlands, riding RR Super Cool. So that's a fun. That this horse will turn the camera here a little bit. You might be able to see a little. Oh, her butt's disappeared. She's off. That's Treasure's daughter. So Treasure is the horse Jeremy Reynolds is riding this year. She's a two-time Tevis Cup winner as well as a Hagen Cup winner, and that is her only offspring to date that I'm aware of. I think it's her only. And that's our Super Cool. So lots of people ask about breeds. It's been maybe at least in the feeds I've been in a little bit less of a conversation this year, but so the endurance as a sport is definitely dominated by Arabians and Arabian crosses. That's always been true. There's many reasons for that. The breed is they've been bred to do this kind of work. They have a number of physical characteristics that are inherent to the breed. Sorry, I'm going to start that over. They have a number of characteristics, including the what are called the twitch fibers in their muscles. They work very, very well at a aerobic threshold. So that right, that's a lower working threshold. They can go for long periods of time at moderate paces. Breeds like, for example, the thoroughbred are bred to work more at anaerobic thresholds, right, for galloping and racing. And this is painting with some broad strokes. Horses can be individuals, but most Arabs can truck along all day at a moderate pace, and it's easier on their physiology than many other more heavily muscled breeds or larger breeds, because that's what they've been bred and designed to do. This year, we had lots of Arabian crosses. We had one grade horse. We had one Missouri Foxtrotter. We had a bunch of Rocky Mountains, looks like two, and then that cross. We had one Shagya Arab, which are Arabs that are, they're a little different from what most people consider purebred Arabians. They are a Hungarian breed that was developed by the cavalry in the last century. They're very cool horses, bred for different jobs. We had 3 Tennessee Walkers this year. We had one thoroughbred, a couple of Korobs. I think Jeepers. Everybody's asking about Jeepers. Everybody loves the Jeep. I think, is the only quarter horse this year, purebred quarter horse. We had 2 other Korobs. We did have a Morgan entered in the ride. Unfortunately, he was pulled at Robinson Flat this morning. He's a really lovely guy. He's a former breeding stein. He's a Palomino. He's a handsome guy to look at. We have one mule this year. We got Ticket, who's going, assuming Ticket's still in the ride, was going for her her 5th finish, which would make her a Roby Cup horse. All right, let's see who else we're going to be expecting in here soon. Okay, we got, a good chunk of folks out of Chicken Hawk now. Our last rider that came in there was rider number 25. That was Carmen Romer on RR Super Cool. Looks like next up we're expecting Sean T. Curtin, Travis Underwood, Lindsay Fisher, Christoph Schork, and Alicia Zabowska, Brandon Brenner, Marianne Born, sorry, French name, Ryan Ellis, Chelsea Arnold, Vanessa Erickson, Alex and Jen Niehaus, Frank Crum, Emily Hart, Christine Hartman, Hal Hall. People are waiting on Hal. He was out of Chicken Hawk at 7:02. Emily Hampson, Amber Oliver, Monica Bennett, Audra Cook, Stephanie De La Hunt. She goes by Stevie. Alina Hildreth and Deborah Olmsted. Isabel Watson, Andrew Gerhard, Jennifer Gomez, Johnny Jewell, Scarlett Wilson Hager are all the folks listed as out of Chicken Hawk. So yeah, we're going to get a whole cluster of folks that are coming in here to the check. I am going to leave the feed going, but I'm going to yeah, we did have two riders from New Zealand this year. I'm not sure where they are in the ride. The standings is the best place to go for that. But yeah, we had two Kiwis this year. No Aussies, but two Kiwis. All right, I'm going to temporarily hand the camera or the computer here back to Molly. I'm going to use the restroom, and we will be right back with you guys.
Coming in, we have Lindsay Fisher on Biscuit.
We have 17 is here.
Number 66. 66 at 7:38.
And we've got Vanessa Erickson coming in. She's a Crater Hill rider.
Number 66 is here.
66.
66.
I have people just give me dogs. Usually criminal dogs. I train them out of this book.
Looks like we've got a string of riders coming in. We will get you their names and numbers as soon as we can see them.
Okay.
These are riders coming
Is
out
there any
of
way
Chicken
you
Hawk
can
at mile 64. They're coming into Foresthill at mile 68.
Stop and we grab that ice.
Looks like we've got 3 horses, maybe 4. got some junior riders. I think this is Ryan Ellis. Number 34. Yep, that's Ryan Ellis on ice. 51. Which for some reason has been deleted from this sheet. Rider 51 has been deleted from this sheet. I don't know why. Let me see here.
And 51.
That's Chelsea Arnold. On Dragon, that's an Arabian Appaloosa. And then we've got a and we've got another horse coming in.
Welcome to Foresthill. Number 22 at 741.
For those of you at home really concerned about this yellow sign, our live streamer, announcer, broadcaster Kristen has picked up the sign and leaned it up against a fence post. All is well. Everything in the universe has been righted. Just so you know, this sign has been picked up and returned to its rightful standing place. One of the more exciting facts of Tevis this year is that the sign has returned to its rightful place, standing up against a fence post. It's kind of
White sticks.
Oh, yay!
Woohoo, glow bars.
I'm back. Okay. Yes. Yeah, and for the folks concerned about litter, I hear you. I was just talking to Molly earlier today about my hatred of trash, and anybody who has ever, let's just say, been in my home or my horse trailer is like, "Wow, you're organized," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's one word for it." And so I get it. Rest assured, we actually take that part of it really seriously. There are so many volunteers that go down the trail after this event. They pull ribbons, they pick up trash, we leave the place clean and tidy and spick and span. Been doing this for a long time. The ride has existed for a long time. The Western States Run, which is the like one of the premier 100-mile runs for humans, was founded from this ride. The sport of ultra running descends from the sport of endurance horseback riding, and so anyway, we don't want to leave stuff out there. We're picking up things, and there's the cleanup operation is pretty fantastic. After I ended the Robinson Flat feed, I mean, it was like a swarm of volunteer bees came through and had that place cleaned up within 2 hours of the horses coming through. It's amazing. All right, here is Christine Hartman. Also looking entirely too happy. No, I'm glad to see Christine in. She is rider number 77 this year. It was Christine Hartman, 77. What's her mayor's name? Kamina. We got another rider coming in. Okay, so this is where hopefully we stop being boring here at Foresthill. We get a little more exciting. It's not just people running around. We're expecting somewhere in the ballpark of 40 horses in the next hour. We're gonna hope they all make it through. We're rooting for them. Let's see who's coming up here. This is rider number 61 that just came in. That's Frank Crum. Welcome, Frank. Okay, here we've got, I believe this is the gentleman from Arizona. 106. This is Travis Underwood. Okay, here is, I believe she pronounces her name Alicia. Brad. Okay, I'm sorry, Alicia, I'm butchering your name. This is rider number 27. Alicia, thank you. And number 57. That's Brandon Brunner. I'm Jenny, the Anglo-Arab. Those are two Texas riders. Okay, here comes Jen Niehaus and Christoph Schork right after her. Rider number 94, that is Jen Niehaus. Here's Christoph Schork. Rider number 16 on Aussie, who is a Hagen Cup winner, I believe. Rider number 93, that is Alex Niehaus. That is Jen's daughter, and her grandfather there is leading the horse and crewing. That's a three-generation endurance family. Joyce and Dennis Souza are high mileage riders themselves. Joyce actually, I don't want to guess this up. So she has what's called a perfect 10 horse. She's one of the very few people in the sport that has had a horse achieve that milestone, which means they had 10,000 miles, 10 wins, 10 best conditions. Oh my goodness, I'm forgetting the rest of the criteria off the top of my head. For a perfect 10 equine. 10,000 miles, 10 wins, 10 best conditions. Oh, and decade team. And 10 years in the sport. So that is what we call a perfect 10. That's an award that was started, I think maybe 20 years ago by an endurance rider. And there's very few horses that have achieved that in the sport. Okay, we have more riders coming in. Sorry, I'm just pausing. We're staying hydrated. I can't tell who this is yet. Oh, you know what? Da, 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 da. This is Emily Hart, I believe, riding. His name is Finn. His registered name, I can't recall off the top of my head. And he is my horse's half brother. So that's why this is Issa's half brother. Yeah. So Emily is, I believe this is Emily's first Tevis. I know this is Finn's first Tevis. And they're coming up the hill. Okay. Emily is rider. Oh, it's Emily's birthday. Woo! Okay, rider number 78. She's 65 today. We're hearing her first Tevis on her 65th birthday. So, hey, never too late. Ne- never too late to go for Tevis. And there goes Finn. Good to see him. 3 cheers for Finn. Sorry, wiggling the camera, still being in the ride. All right, we've got lots more people coming. Well, hopefully lots more people coming. We would like to see a lot more. Can you check how many total folks are still in the ride? So basically, minus the polls. And sometimes, the trackers in the canyons, we're still using radio to get a lot of that information in and out because there is no cell phone connectivity down in the canyons. So that's why sometimes, especially in the middle, 70. Okay, so Jackie's telling us we still have 70 riders in the race at this point in the ride. But yeah, that's why sometimes we see a delay, not only with the spot devices, but also with the webcast and the live standings updating, is because they have to radio all of that information out, and it's got to go through the official channels. We need to make sure that that timing is official. We can't just fling information around, right? And so that's why sometimes there's a little bit of delay, or you'll see a pause. In someone's standings, that does not mean they have been polled. It could just mean that they're taking a minute to get the information radioed out. Okay, I see Hal Hall's crew here. That's his wife, Ann. Gearing up. It looks like they're expecting Hal to come up the road any moment here. For the 40. He's going for his 34th completion. Yes, because if he finishes, he will tie Barbara White. So yeah, we'll cheer for Hal when he comes through here. We're cheering for everyone, but yeah, Hal, the man, the myth, the legend, Hal Hall. But yeah, 40 something starts. We were just debating how many starts he has, and I couldn't remember, but I do know he's going for his 34th completion. That's a lot of Tevis, folks. His first completion was as a junior in the 70s, I think, early 70s. We'd have to go back and check. Lot of Tevis. And Hal is very interested in the history of the region. I interviewed him a couple of years ago when he was not riding about some of the historical points and things like that. He really enjoys taking the historian's perspective on the trail and the history of the region, and has done a lot of work scouting things and mapping and updating. He's very passionate about all things related to Tevis. Seems off because it says he has 37 starts for a 100 miler. Because they don't do records prior to 84. Yeah, so Molly was just looking at Hal's record, and one of the things to note about the ARC website is they don't maintain records prior to 1984. So when you look up a rider's mileage on the ARC website, for some folks who have been around and have all of this great knowledge, it's not accurate because all of the miles they did in the 60s or 70s or prior to 84 aren't in there, or aren't necessarily recorded accurately. It's just the way the organization was functioning at the time. So. Okay, we've got more riders coming in. I'm seeing a chestnut. That's all I can tell you. The secret bar at Michigan Bluff. I don't know about this. Really? Yeah. The secret bar at Michigan Bluff. Like a bar is that serves alcohol?
Yeah, it's sort of speakeasy style.
Okay.
The guy who owns it, he came out for the year I did the Tevis Ed. He came out and was like, "Come on back, like, let me show you."
Oh, wow.
Okay, corral saloon situation.
Okay, so we're hearing about this is news to me. I have never heard this. We're going to get you these horse info, and then we're going to talk about the speakeasy in Michigan Bluff. All right, we've got we got this rider. They're coming in. 96. Rider number 96, Amber Oliver, and rider number 76, Emily Hansen. Sorry, which horse is Alto? Emily's horse's name is Alto. Oh, and we have Team Kickass. Let's see, rider number 62. I think this is Shantae T. Sorry, names. I'm having speaking difficulties at this point. Was 60. Okay, Shanti. On Chevy. Team Kickass. I'm just saying that verbatim. They've got their great pink shirts. He is 20 years old. Awesome. Yeah. Love to see it. I believe this is their first Tevis. And so we're cheering them on. It's good to see them here in Forest Hill. All right. So I was just hearing from a little bird that says that apparently there is a speakeasy at Michigan Bluff, and the gentleman who runs this operation comes out occasionally for the Ed Ride and will give you a drink. So another reason to sign up for the Ed Ride for those of you interested in participating is go to Michigan Bluff, which is one of the towns. It's a very small town actually at the end of a road just up the way. It overlooks the American River Valley or Canyon. They sell popsicles.
They give you popsicles.
They give you popsicles. Okay. So their main fare is popsicles, but maybe if you are a convincing person, a great conversationalist, they might give you more than a popsicle.
Go into a dark saloon and there's photos of horses and riders all over.
Okay. You go into a dark saloon and there's photos of horses and riders all over the place.
I think there's some like saddle racks, maybe an old saddle and horseshoes.
Okay, we've got saddle racks and horseshoes and decorations. Okay. And then that man serves you alcohol?
Yeah.
And is this alcohol he has distilled himself?
No, this is like a PBR.
Okay, he gives you a PBR. All right. I'm just collecting some information here. And it also occurs to me that we're live. So I hope this gentleman doesn't, get in trouble for all of this. He shall go unnamed.
It's not like a regularly operational bar.
He's just handing out stuff. Okay. All right. So now I've learned about this. This is my first time hearing this little factoid. So those of you who, again, you want to come do Tevis, come do the Ed Ride, come find this man. He might give you a PBR. Okay, I'm seeing from our other friends at the live stream, live feed that we just ended the stream at Chicken Hawk. So it looks like we're wrapped up down there. We do have a horse coming in here. Where?
There's a lot of news and a lot of people.
Here's Hal Hall, the man, the myth, the legend, going for his 34th completion today. And that's his wife, Anne, who also, rider number 14. Oh, we're going to get a real live feed shot here of Hal getting off his horse. Not bad, Hal. Not bad for 68 miles. Good work. We were talking about saddles earlier, and this from here, it looks like a Specialized to me. Okay, we're getting off a bit. We're getting this horse ready. Again, different strategy, right? Some of these riders have been curling and running up the hill off and getting their horse All right, and there he goes. Off to the cooling area. I think he knows what he's doing. I think he knows this horse. So we're gonna let him go cool. And see who else we've got here. Okay, we have, oh, it's Andrew Gerhardt. And we'll get his number as he goes by. And this horse, what was this horse's name? 7-0. Chindaka's Advocate is the horse. The horse is looking good. He's got a little energy there still. That's great. Andrew also runs. Here we have Audra Cook and her Mustang 7. Rider number 60. He's looking good. He's a cute guy. He's one of the shortest riders, shortest horses at this year's ride. Okay, more people coming in. This is we're getting to the witching hour here at Foresthill. We're going to start seeing lots of people coming. We have 107. This is Isabel Watson. Sorry, did you say the horse's name? Walter. And we have 2 more riders here. We're going to get rider 63 and rider 101. Oh, that's Lee. And Lee. Lee Darby, Davy, and Lee Bosco. Sorry, Scribner. Wrong Lee. Coming in. Okay. We've got, I think it's just after 8 o'clock. We still have 45 minutes here. And maybe Jackie can tell us how many more people we might be waiting on.
Just a second.
They're pushing all the data. We got radio stuff coming through. Sometimes they do that too. They wait to radio information until they have a whole group of riders to report.
But it looks like we have 68 riders total still in.
All right, total, we have 68 riders still in the ride, and we have 30 riders still waiting to come in. See, I told you guys, it gets fun here at Foresthill as we're getting dusky. Rider 97, Deborah Olmsted on Chuck Norris. This is the Intergalactic Equine Crew. We have Stevie De La Hunt. We have on Alexander Hamilton. I'm sorry, he is. Apparently, Alexander Hamilton's nickname is Cocaine Bear, which is a fun one. Oh, rider 75. And rider 73, the horse is Full Send. The rider is a junior named Lena. Okay, Jenny Gomez, rider 75, they're coming in. We are, unfortunately, sad news. We are hearing that Jeepers got pulled. Do we know where he got pulled? Everybody's been cheering on AP. Again, we don't have more information. He was pulled at Chicken Hawk. That's a bummer that their ride ended today at Chicken Hawk. We don't get to see them here at Foresthill until they get trailered back. But congrats to AP for starting the ride. I mean, getting here is an accomplishment. And here comes one of the, their emergency standby trailers. We always want to let our emergency folks in.
It's Shantae, not Shantae. My bad.
Okay. It's Shantae. Shantae is how we pronounce it. And she's volunteered the last 5 years. See what volunteering does? You can come, you can volunteer, and then maybe you ride one day. All right. So yeah, so it looks like the live feed, or I'm sorry, the standings are updating rapidly here. Again, they're pushing information out quickly. They either are radioing out or we're getting more updates. And we're going to continue to see groups of riders come up here in Forest Hill. What time is it?
8:06.
It's 8:06. So we're going to be live here at least probably until 8:45. We're going to look at the timing of the pacing here of these folks. But we will stay live for all of the riders that we are expecting or until 8:45 p.m., which is the cutoff time here at Forest Hill. Okay, we're just, while we wait here, I'm going to get the half of my sandwich out.
Heather, Jeremy, and Sonoma all out of Cal 2 at the same time.
Okay, we're getting updates too that, or the trackers are updating that the Reynolds and Sonoma are all out of Cal 2 at 7:45. So that was about 20 minutes ago. So yeah, they'll be coming in. Remind me of the mileage between Cal 2 and Francisco's. It's like 8 miles.
7 miles.
7 miles. Okay.
Yes, she did. No, she didn't.
And I've seen we've had a little bit of chatter here about Francisco's, and I think Lucy is still planning on going live at Francisco's. As long as there's light. Okay, so it's not going to be much down at Francisco's because again, it's pretty dark here by 9 p.m. There's still a little bit of daylight, so we might just get the front runners live into Francisco's. Everybody else comes into Francisco's in the dark. So Krista. Did they give a code? Okay, folks, like I said, just taking a minute to eat my smashed sandwich here from Wharton's grocery store just down the hill here in Forest Hill. Shout out to Wharton's.
Sandwiches are good, and the smashing is special.
The sandwiches are quite good. I always like their sandwiches. Sounds like we got more horses. We got more horses coming up. Okay, so we've got a radio person. It sounds like stationed way down Bath Road, radioing up that we're expecting horses. Apologies if you guys can hear me chewing. Um, there's no way to block that out with AirPods. For those of you who might just be tuning in or are like, why are we just looking at the road and no one's talking? I'm taking a little moment to eat here. That's why there's a pause in commentary. We're waiting for more riders and horses here. We're going to see a real good push of riders in the next 30 minutes. Cutoff time here at Forest Hill is 8:45 p.m. And horses have to be pulsed by 8:45 p.m. So they can't be coming up Bath Road. They got to be in there and pulsed.
Looks like we have about 15 horses left.
Well, here she is. All right, Texas, you ready? We have Miss Johnny Jewel coming up. I can see her in her shirt, her blue cloak. I always love the headstall she has for her horse. I think that is his Tevis buckle that she had made into a headstall, so you can see his silver buckle there. Great idea for a buckle use. I don't know. I don't wear pants with belt holes, and so I don't have a use for buckles. And um, yes, she makes all sorts of things. She also makes great high tie connections. Woohoo! All right, 9-0, Johnny Jewel. Johnny, the eyes of Texas are on you. She just shook her head. It's people online. She's like, I'm leaving.
68 miles, guys.
Johnny would like a break. She's gone 68 miles. Taking a moment here. Just keeping an eye on it. Since all of you seem to be Johnny fans. We're working on getting the head stall off. We do have more horses coming. All right. There goes Johnny. You guys are welcome for that shout out. Like I said, she just shook her head and ran off into the vet check. Um, okay, we do have a gray horse coming here and can't get you a number yet. I'm not sure who it is. Okay. We're gonna get you a number. It's a person in purple. That's all I know right now. And a gray horse. Ah, that rider's taking her saddle and carrying it. Okay, this is rider 110. This is Scarlett. Sorry, Wilson Hager on Dino. Okay, it's last we checked, we were expecting about 15-ish more riders in here, and it's probably 8:15. It's 8:15. We got 30 minutes. Let's do this, folks. You got 30 minutes to come through that canyon, get your horse in and get them pulsed. Again, temp is definitely dropping now, not considerably. I mean, again, when we say that, it's not like it's gone from 90 to 60, but you know, it's nice to go from 90 to 82 or however warm it might be right now. Oh, my spidey senses are. Jackie says it's 81 degrees outside. I was like, this is information that lives arbitrarily in my head. We're waiting for 12 riders. Okay. Okay. So for just to summarize what we're going to be doing the rest of the evening, we've got Lucy going live at Francisco's probably pretty soon here. So you can check out that feed on the Tevis Cup YouTube channel. We had made a playlist for you guys. And they actually all autoplay into each other. So if you just stay in one feed, it just bumps you to the next one feed ends. Fun feature. We are going to have folks live both at the timed finish at the Overlook. And then we are also going to have someone live in the stadium. It's hard to say how many riders we will stay live for this year. Again, at that point in the ride, we're probably only going to be seeing statistically, Tevis finish rate is about 50%. So we might only see 50 or so riders, 55 riders come across the finish line. And because of the pacing, they start to really spread out, and we just can't stay live that long. I'm sorry, we love you all. We've been up though since 5 talking and doing other things, and everybody gets pretty tired, and it gets really difficult. We're not going to lie, it gets pretty difficult to fill that space because you're talking about a span of, the front runner or the winner of the ride might finish at 10 p.m. and statistically the vast majority of riders don't finish until 4:15 and 5:15 in the morning. So what we do is we'll stay live. We'll stay live as long as folks are able to stay live and awake, and then we're going to shut those live feeds down at the timed finish as well as at the stadium. We have somebody who's volunteered to take clips of riders as they pass the finish line and upload those on Facebook. And then we are going to have, we're going to go live again in the morning at 4 a.m. for buckle hour, which again, statistically, the vast majority of riders finish from 4 a.m. to 5 a.m., 4:15 to 5:15 in that time frame. It's the reason it's called the buckle hour, is those are the folks who are just getting it done. And we will be live for that. So those are the scheduled live feeds for the remainder of the day. We have a whole gaggle of horses coming in here. I'm going to 81, 44, Okay, so we had 81, 44, 65, and 112. 60, no, rider number 65 is Katie on Tonga. Got some crew showing up here too. There's a whole flurry of activity. Okay, tried to get those numbers. Those folks are coming through quickly. This is what happens, right? They're going to start clustering and bunching together. So it gets sometimes a little bit hard to give you guys all the names and the horse info because you've got groups of 4 or 5 people coming in together. But we're going to at least try and get you numbers as riders come through. So that was 4 horses. So we're waiting for approximately 8 more people. We'll do a little shout out here to the Foresthill Fire District. That's the paramedics and the EMTs that have been driving around all day. They are here to attend to emergencies if they happen on the trail, and we appreciate them being here. Moving. This is one of our ride vets in the West region here going by in the Hawaiian floral shirt there. That's Susan McCartney out of Nevada. That's a lot of West region rides. She's one of our treatment vets here. In typical fashion, we're just discussing the front runners who are on the warpath there. It sounds like the Reynolds and Sonoma are, sorry, I can't even talk anymore. Sonoma are all out there running down towards Francisco's. Okay, we have, this is Terry Zelinsky. Zelinsky. Okay, here's Terry. He's on one of our gated horses this year. Um, that's Charlie, a Tennessee Walker. And he was one of 2 Pintos we had in the ride, paints we had in the ride this year. Here comes Terry. 114. Okay. All right. Here's Ticket. Everybody's favorite. She is a cute mule. This is Shane Lesher on Ticket. She is our only mule this year, and she is going for her fifth buckle because I think they're going for a Roby Cup mule. So here's Shane and Ticket, rider 86. Molly says Ticket was the name of her first dog. It's a good name. It's a cute name for an animal.
How old is Ticket? 20.
Yes. Jackie just asked a great question about Ticket and mules. I will admit I don't know much about mules. I have never owned one. I have never ridden one. We have a resident mule expert on the live feed crew here, so I will let her chime in. My understanding is mules do tend to age pretty well compared to other equines, but yeah, Ticket is 20 years old. So that fine equine that just went past us is 20 years old. She looks great. Going for her her fifth finish.
Just take care of these girls.
Okay, we're getting messages that our folks who were going to go be live at the timed finish are going to take a break and have a snack, and then they're going to go be ready to be live at the timed finish at approximately 10 p.m. But we are.
Came in, but was pulled at Michigan Bluff for overtime. Terry Zielinski. That's what the site says.
What's that? Not Terry.
Oh. This Ticket's horse half is thoroughbred.
Thank you, online folks. So we're learning that Ticket's horse half is thoroughbred. Yeah, I wondered if she was a thoroughbred mule. I know that's a common or popular cross is the thoroughbred mule. Okay, so it's you can see here. I'm going to move the camera here real quick. Um, it's definitely getting to dusk. It's 8. There's 5 horses coming up, but I'm just going to show you so you get a sense of like daylight. What time is it? So this is 8:30. So you can see again, we have daylight, but we're definitely dusky. Sun is down. Um, it's a little bit cooler, as things go on.
Every time I see
So now, number 30 as well.
Can I see my computer? Like, it's switching AirPods back and forth. If it keeps switching, just tell it to. Sorry, everyone. AirPods are getting excited and switching back and forth between the computer and the phone here. We're just waiting for our last five-ish folks to come into Forest Hill. I hear cheering.
Last chance.
Were you in the? Okay, I'm still hearing hooting and hollering. So I know we got horses down Bath Road. We're waiting for them to come up here. Okay, always an exciting race to the cutoff times here at Forest Hill. Again, these horses do have to be pulsed by 8:45 p.m. And I remember, I believe it was last year, we had a pulse off where we had horses come in. I mean, 8:43, and some of them pulsed and some of them didn't, and everybody was running around like crazy to get those horses cooled and down in time. And it was an exciting little bit of drama there for the end of the Forest Hill vet check. We're going to wait for these last riders to come in and then see. I'll go wander over to the cooling and pulsing area now that I'm done eating. I'm getting a good question. So somebody asked, what happens if you are literally 1 minute overtime? You are pulled from the ride. They're not kidding when they say 8:45 p.m. Unfortunately, we have to draw the line somewhere, and there have been exceptions made in certain circumstances over the years. There's been some extenuating type situations where there were, for example, emergencies on trail, and then cutoff times got pushed for groups of riders, but nothing like that has occurred this year. And everybody, and unfortunately, like I said, we got to draw the line somewhere in the sand, and it's 8:45 p.m.
And you get to the finish, you don't necessarily get a completion because you have to be fit to continue.
Yes, Molly's also raising a good point here that remember too, just because you cross the finish line doesn't mean you get a completion. The horse has to be fit to continue based off of AERC criteria, and Tevis Cup has the same criteria in place. 109. Here's 109. Sorry, Sonia Willits on blue.
All right, we have number 109. She was not both.
All right. Well, if everybody's feeling able and willing, we're going to go mobile here for the last 15 minutes here. Okay, it's going to get real bumpy here, folks. Okay. We're waiting for our last handful of horses. Molly and Jackie haven't thrown in the towel yet and gone to sleep. Molly's got her shoes off. Um, and they're gonna follow me, and we're gonna watch these horses as they come in, and we're gonna come a stand over to or go over to the pulse area and keep our fingers crossed that all of these folks come in with enough time to pulse. Okay, it's got more horses coming up the hill. Okay. We've got some horses coming. We're going to get numbers. Rider number 37, Reagan Tanner on Raven. And we've rider 42. Oh, here they are. Here's the folks we've been looking for. Okay, here's Jody Shumway and her. Okay, we've got. Do we have everyone? We've got everyone. Okay, this is our Washington crew. We've got 2 moms and it looks like 2 daughters. So this is the Shumway family and the Langtat family. They are all from Washington. Here they are. We're going to walk with them over here to the to the pulsing area. I'm happy to see these guys come into Forest Hill. They've worked really hard to get here. Again, this is 2 mothers and 2 daughters. So mom, daughter duo, all 4 of them are riding together. They were doing that for a number of reasons, but mostly in case anything happened to one of the adults, the juniors could go on with the other adult. And this is the first Tevis for all 4 of these ladies. So we can see here, they're cooling the horses. A fun fact too about Roriana's little Mustang that she rides. She's done all of his training herself. I believe she got him and broke him under saddle as an 8-year-old child or some. She's got some crazy story like that. And he was quite a bit of a handful and has kind of settled down in his older age now and gotten steadier as a mount. Okay, we've got also another horse coming in. Okay, this is Legs. This is, I believe the gentleman's name is Roger. This is another Pacific Northwest rider. Okay, apologies, I'm forgetting his name. Brad. What's Boots, not Legs. I was going to say leg. I'm just making things up at this point. Okay, here we have Brad and Boots coming across the finish line. This team finished a 100-mile ride about a month ago at the Mount Adams 100. And the riders have 6 minutes, which feels like nothing, but that's enough time. 6 minutes is enough time for a horse to pulse, especially these are fit, seasoned horses. So they're cooling. I see that our whole Washington crew has moved on to the vets, except for, it looks like, I think that's Roriana standing here. He's a Mustang again, so he might take a minute to pulse, especially compared to the Arabs that her mom and the Shumways are riding. Nope, got it wrong. I couldn't see because I've got a light in my face and it's starting to get dark here. So no, that is another rider. So it looks like all 4 of our moms and daughters have moved on. Okay. Okay, here goes Brad and Boots. I'm getting these horses really cooled down in hopes that they will hit pulse criteria. I can see here somebody's taken a courtesy pulse, or what we usually call a courtesy pulse. This is a crew member just checking to see where the horse is. Okay, and off they go to the vet line. um, are we waiting on any more people? Okay, we'll see. We'll walk this way a little bit. Again, we're going to probably drop connectivity here if we get too far from the Starlink, but I believe that's everybody we have been waiting to come in here at Forest Hill. Yeah, we're going to refresh our standings here. Again, you guys have access to this information online. Yeah, I think that was it. Okay. So Forest Hill 2026 is a wrap here. Thanks everybody for joining us on the live feed. We are going, I believe we might be live already down at Francisco's. And so you can join that feed. I think this feed will auto link you to that feed if you just wait for it to end. And then join us at the finish line. We will be going live at the timed finish at approximately 10 p.m. And then we will have somebody at the stadium as well. We're going to stay live as long as we can at those locations. It's going to be based on fatigue levels, frankly, and the spacing of the riders. And we're going to try and cover our top 10, but no guarantees there, unfortunately. Everybody has been up all day and needs some rest, and we're going to then go live again at 4 a.m. to bring you Buckle Hour. And then we're going to bring you Hagen Cup at 10 a.m., as well as the awards banquet at 2 p.m. Thanks, everybody, for joining. We'll see you later.